right, welcome to episode 3, everybody, of Blood and Silver here on Hard Knock Dice with my friends Chris, Ian, Kylie, and Kent, your potential heroes and definite adventurers. Gonna go ahead and do a quick shout out to our children's health charity Extra Life. If someone would drop that in chat so everyone can give it a look and hopefully give it a click, maybe give it a donation, because helping kids is always a good thing. Last time in our fun and exciting adventures, our party did some extraordinary sleuthing, lucky sleuthing, the gathering of information in 3rd edition terms, and got pretty much every bit of information they needed for the rebellion that they are currently helping to not incite, but definitely make happen effectively. And last we left off, they were getting ready to engage in a little bit of combat as 2 of our friends here got jumped on their way home after doing some shopping. So we're going to hop on over to Tailspire and get right into that. Is everybody in Tailspire?
Hell yeah, brother. I'm here.
Awesome. And since this is our first combat, I want to go ahead and make sure that you guys have control over your characters. Any issues moving them around and all that?
Yeah, summon me,
I am still waiting on
Game
G.
Master. Yeah,
Gotcha.
to summon. There we are.
There, I was about to say,
That's me. Holy
say,
shit.
administrative ghost, please summon them to the board because I have no idea how to do that.
You do look like you got your paint job at Harley Davidson, Roderick.
What the heck? It's so yellow in Tailspire.
He's very yeller. Look at him.
That's right.
Bro, you're a little shorter
there
in Tailspire. Little small boy.
So a quick admiration for our custom models as our players get ready to engage in combat. And I believe the last thing we said we were going to do, or the first thing we said we were going to do when we get started, was going to be to roll initiative.
Oh yeah.
I just realized, like, my model's kind of a spoiler. Whoops.
He
Well.
said I got the fire hand.
Yeah. Whoops. Oh yeah, if anybody didn't, my arm might light on fire.
Right, make sure I got a pen because I'm much better at keeping track of things like initiative and health with an actual pen and paper. So let's go ahead and get those. There's only the 2 of you, so we're not going to do the whole 25 to 20 thing. What's y'all's initiative?
I think you beat mine, Kent.
16 plus 2.
Oh yeah. In true old man fashion, natty 1 for a.
Starting
okay.
off real
Oh.
good tonight.
Yeah, I'm feeling. Oh hell yeah! You just yell. I don't have a massive initiative bonus to like bank on for this character to keep my like initiative like okay.
All right. Well, that was a quick initiative roll because y'all were quick, fast, and in a hurry to split the party.
I like splitting the party.
Don't we all?
I'm a
I'm a
molten
fan.
fireman made out of metal.
So-
Walking down the street and strutting like Spider-Man in the 3rd movie.
So to set the stage for those that weren't there, and to get everyone kind of back in the moment, y'all had been shopping and y'all were walking down the city streets
Hell yeah.
right after sundown, late evening, early night, and were on your way home. Y'all were still in the home. Y'all were still in the 4th layer, on your way to what is functionally the bus stop. It is the rail car station. But y'all had a few more minutes of walking before you got there, and as you walked past this alleyway, immediately 2 cloaked figures wielding short blades started to run at you. There was no warning, no give me your money, nothing. And Roderick specifically would have recognized bits of their attire as being Franz Lin in nature. Franz Lin being the
shit.
institute that has created much of the technology that the city uses. They are both wearing the mask and a brooch on their cloak. So Roderick, with this information, You also went first in initiative. So what are you doing?
Um,
It's a nice tree.
can I see these gentlemen's faces at all?
No, they're wearing masks.
Uh,
So for context, the Franz Lin mask is kind of like a featureless opera mask type thing with a geometric pattern.
okay. Um, in that case, oh, fucking put on the spot. Okay, I'm not supposed to go first in initiative with 2 dexterity? Okay. Well,
Hey,
one,
man,
bro.
that's
What do
how
you
it
want
goes
from me?
sometimes.
Like,
you can still hold your action if you use a bonus action, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and say yes until I can double check that.
I think so.
In that case, I'm going to summon up a spiritual weapon right in front of me with a 2nd level spell. And just kind of say to him,
Well, it's the fight you want and you're gonna fucking get it. Those masks are gonna be in pieces on the ground.
and
Shit.
hold an action to booming blade anything that comes into melee range, or
Reasonable.
one of them that comes into melee range.
So we have the generic spiritual weapon figure on the
Right.
board. Tell me what your spiritual weapon looks like. What happens as you cast this spell?
When I turned off the filter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't have that pulled up because Tailspire covered it. Whenever I summon the spiritual weapon, it looks like these the ground itself kind of opens up in a fissure, and what looks like raw metal mined from somewhere out of the earth forms into a rough-hewn anvil that floats semi-translucent in the air in front of them, ready for them to be wrought with my hammer.
So you're just gonna be pimp slapping people with an anvil?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Theoretically, when I have the anvil next to them, I'll try to. I know I don't get a flanking bonus, but I would be flanking with it and hammering them on the anvil.
Gotcha. Fair enough. But if it's
Very-
just the anvil, you're just smacking them with an anvil.
Yeah, they're just getting
Does
headbutted
it-
by an anvil.
Gotcha.
Does it make acme noises when they get hit with it? Is it like fucking?
Probably in world, no, but in my brain, yes.
So
And that's a turn. No movement.
uh
Oh, you know what? Just for the sake of my old man not getting his shit wrecked, I'll move 1 space forward.
I guess off since I have what 6 words off my turn. I just logic who else these in? Do you know these men?
we're still in your turn if you would like to respond, Roderick.
They're fucking with the wrong people.
All right, quite the
Well, I've been told that they've been harassing folks in Durden Row, so if they're coming at me with short swords drawn and like masks on, they're obviously up to no good and they're ready to fucking square up.
They
So
want the smoke.
they're
Yeah.
actively charging.
Yeah,
weapons,
yeah.
So
It's yours, my friend. Like,
exactly.
so the first one, the one that you summoned the weapon immediately in front of, kind of like comes screeching to a halt, clearly not sure what the fuck this is. The advantage of using magic in a nearly magicless society. The other one continues to dash forward. As he gets there, you will get your booming blade attack.
Hey,
For
let's
me.
go.
I'm just an old man.
Oh, I just missed my dice tower.
Please. As you do.
That is a 19 on the die. I'm assuming that hits with other bonuses.
That absolutely hits, yes.
All right.
Hello, good sir. Whack.
Yes. So it does 4 plus 4 plus 4.
All right.
And he's wreathed in energy. If he moves again, he'll suffer more damage. But yeah,
Sure.
just as this thing. What are these guys wearing?
So they are
Do they have
wearing.
any metal on aside from like these cloaks and masks or something?
They're wearing like leather armor that seems to have some thin bands of steel going across it.
Okay.
Maybe buckles, but other than that, they're not wearing like chainmail or anything like that.
All right. Yeah, so just as this hammer hits into them, it seems to just kind of like chime on something like inside of their body. Like I just smacked their soul that was made out of metal with my hammer, and it just seems to be reverberating through all of their fleshy bits.
What?
Well, that thoroughly causes him to reel a little bit. He is, however, a fairly determined individual, and instead of continuing his charge directly at Apollinaire, he turns around and immediately swings on you.
All right.
Hell yeah.
It will clang harmlessly off of your body.
When you say it like that, it sounds so weird.
Your armor is your body, so that's
Yeah,
just kind of
exactly.
ting. The other one is not sure what's going on, and instead holds his action, kind of holding his sword up.
Damn. He just runs away, right? He just flees.
What is this? Yeah. All right, and that will bring us to
the other guys that are also here. He said, but wait, there's more.
What is this?
that is a critical hit.
Uh-oh.
I'll need more dice.
On Roderick, right?
No.
Damn,
Oh no!
they got credit, old man! You wouldn't deprive an old man of his walking stick. Oh!
You take 21 points of piercing damage. As you'll probably have to zoom out to see this individual.
Oh,
Actually,
my HP!
hold on.
I briefly had more HP in this campaign. Oh, where is
Actually,
where are you?
it is your lucky day. I forgot that attack was supposed to be at. Oh wait, no, never mind. It is 21 points of damage.
Damn it!
I was thinking it would be at disadvantage, however, this gentleman right here. I don't know how do I do God's flashlight? Administrative ghost. L. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
They about to be taking L's, I swear to God.
So there is the source of the crossbow bolt sticking firmly in your back.
My HP. Mother.
And
Again? Give me a cardinal direction, I guess.
it is
South.
directly across the street and up.
Where I am measuring to right
okay.
now.
I
Oh
see.
wow, he is a lot closer, or a lot farther away than I was hoping.
So I
Okay.
was like, oh no, it'll be a disadvantage. I realized that it was an advantage from unaware target anyway, so that was a flat roll. He takes no other actions. It is now your turn, Apollinaire.
Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, I need a quick I need to do a quick measurement here. Can I? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I cannot make it to that square. Can I? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No, I don't think I can. And I think that's the only way to be within 60 feet of him. Yeah, because that's still, yeah, this would be just over 60. So that'd be up to you, Dungeon Master. Is
Yeah,
this square 60 or more?
Look at the line I just drew. That is
Okay.
28.9 feet, give or
Right.
take. So that makes it 30. As long as it's the finaglings of diagonal movement and crap, as long as the line works, we're gonna go with it.
Okay. Apollinaire is going to step to kind of make his way over to the square, just kind of wincing very much, and like all his hobbling. He's not used to like
Being shot?
attacked. Yeah, being shot.
I can imagine.
He's gonna look up at this guy and look back over his shoulder at the guys behind him and just. I promise this is not something that you want. But just in case, he's gonna kind of get his right arm out from under his like cloak poncho, which it is the first time it's been out from under there. It is regular sleeve. His shirt is fine, but is clearly very heavily bandaged up all the way. What little skin does peek through looks like heavily burned. And he's kind of still looking up at that guy and looking back over his shoulder, is going to kind of furrow his brow for a moment, and with that burnt right arm is going to reach out and kind of do like a hooking motion with his fingers and pull it back towards himself, as he does, opening his mouth and saying, "Show me the chains of your souls." And I would like the guy on the roof and the guy who made the attack roll to make wisdom saving throws.
What's the DC on that?
That is a DC, I believe, 16. Yeah, DC 16.
Neither one of them makes it.
Fun. So as they fail, they'll just kind of jerk upright as flaming chains and shackles burst out of their chest, wrapping like around all of their arms, their legs, kind of like binding their hands together with the shackles, kind of coming up and over their face and their mouths, hindering like all movement, including speech. They are held. So they are
Nice.
I'm adding the torch effect to these two lovely gentlemen. All right, and that is your turn. Doing anything else?
30 feet of movement. Just in case, I'm gonna transfer the cane to my right hand and just gripping it in that burnt hand. Is gonna tap it into the ground, like singeing as it does, kind of singeing some little bit of flame, kind of singeing away some of the bandages. And flame is gonna spiral up the haft of the cane, kind of cracking it in places. I'm casting Shillelagh as well.
Gotcha. That will make it Roderick's turn again.
Hey. This guy, when I gave him the bonk, and when he came in the range, does he seem like that, like, fucked his world up from his body language before getting shackled?
Yeah, I mean, you heard bones cracking, like parts of his body were caved in from that first hit. Now he's not reacting at all because he is covered in chains, but before he was covered in chains, yeah, he was, coughing up blood and gasping and clutching at himself.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Bonus action, this guy who just watched this anvil come out of the ground, that anvil is just gonna fly up and smack him in the face. Well, maybe it'll smack him in the face. Does a 16 hit?
The other guy, the one in the back?
Yes, the one in the back.
I believe a 16 hits. Yeah, 16 will hit.
All right. Ooh, that's a 7. So he takes 13 points of force damage. And I'll just tell this guy,
This is the part where you run real fast.
You hit right across his clavicle. You heard more cracking and stuff. His left arm's hanging kind of limp. Are you doing anything else on your turn?
Yeah, I'm going to use my action to, I don't got a super ton of ranged abilities, but I do have Toll the Dead, so I'll get within 60 feet of this guy if I can across the way. That guy's chained up over there, if that's possible.
Yeah. If your line lets you do it, you can do it.
Let's see what the line lets me do. Oh no, he's 65 feet away.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, I was barely able to make it.
Okay. 1 second then.
You got to pick right now.
Uh,
These rounds go quick when you only got 2 players. Just saying.
oh yeah, for sure. Does that guy have? Oh no, that's also 60. Fuck me sideways. I'm going to. Is your arm still on fire?
It did not fully light on fire
okay.
for the spells to cast. Like it kind of when he cast Shillelagh, like with the flames kind of like crackling up inside of the cane, it like some of the bandages on his arm are like singed.
Okay. Yeah. I will. Can I instead just use my action to try and do an intimidate against that guy since I really can't do much of anything else?
Sure. I was gonna say at disadvantage, but he's currently wrapped in magical chains and just
No. The guy that I just smacked in the face where I told him that he should run now.
Oh yeah, you can do that too.
Okay. 16 as well. 16 on the hit and 16 on the intimidate.
Pretty much 16. All right, yeah. That it for your turn?
That's it for my turn.
All right. Well, first things first. This guy, the one that you rolled an intimidate check on, pulls a clockwork orb out of his jacket that is, kind of divided in two, and here, click, 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 click. Then he tosses it on the ground, kind of at the mouth of the alleyway. And
What if he didn't?
immediately, the area fills with smoke.
A 30-foot radius?
What a punk.
I believe so. I'm double checking. Oh, little bit
Fog cloud
smaller
is
than
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what-
Fog cloud. It's
Based off-
akin to
It's
fog
based
cloud.
off of fog cloud.
Yeah.
Similar to in effect.
Is there a way to make that
What if I just-
semi-permanent?
What if I just go? Is that enough?
And there is one other thing I gotta double check on.
Dungeon Master, you can pop away your measurement whenever you're ready. Hey, man, I'm just saying. Can't we kind of match? We both got the right arm outstretched, man. We're looking kind of.
All right.
And we're kind of color coordinated. Like, let's go.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Next is the crossbowman's turn up on the top of the building, and he does not seem to move. Struggles a little bit against the chains encasing him, but nothing else happens. So that will bring us to Apollinaire's turn.
Still kind of like using his not bum hand to now kind of like clutching at where there's probably a bit of crossbow bolt sticking through. Glance over and see the smoke. Do you believe that it is sufficient to leave him as is? And just gesture up at fucking the crossbowman.
But you're asking some questions. Don't you?
Okay, ask him some questions. He's high up.
He a couple stories up. Over 3 stories up.
That's too tall for me to get up there, I think. I'm pretty sure. Like, I think even if I get like right up on that, I think that's too high. Yeah, that's fucking 45 feet. That's too high up. I do not think that those chains will hold forever, so I guess be prepared to catch him. Shrug. Once again, with kind of holding like the haft of the of the now kind of slightly like internally burning cane. Is going to reach forward, kind of in almost like you're like you know how, like you have a rotary phone, you have all the holes, and technically you could stick your fingers in it to rotate it. So kind of like in a gesture similar to that, like he's sticking his fingers in holes and begins to rotate as he does on either side of his head. Basically, they spiraling open are two like flaming flat circles. And as he kind of pushes forward with that hand still kind of holding it in that rotated motion, once again speaking, strike him. And two flaming javelins are going to shoot out of there, which is Eldritch Blast. At advantage because he's paralyzed.
He is very paralyzed.
26 on one and 22 on the other.
They will both hit.
Phenomenal. 15 force damage on the first.
Oof.
And then minimum on the second 6. 10 and a 1. So 21 total points of force damage. They're just kind of both flying. They're just slamming into him.
That's it?
Yep.
You ain't got no push or pull or anything?
No. I only have 3 invocations, bro. I'm fucking busy.
All right. Yeah, I mean, he is impaled by 2 flaming spears that, I don't know, do they fizzle out or?
Yeah, they'll like hit and almost like as they slam into him, almost kind of like they kind of collapse in on themselves as like the flame kind of washes over him briefly before disappearing. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to put action, or he's going to try to get close enough to catch this guy if he falls.
All right. That brings us back to Roderick's turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will move, and I will also gesture for my spiritual weapon, start to mosey on over this way in case the combat continues to last that long. And I think, if he falls, between the two of us, we probably catch. We probably just get on from down there. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Does whole person still work on an unconscious body? He's just sitting there, just blood running out of his nose.
What's the DC on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. DC 16.
The spell fails.
All right.
He's too wise.
He's too wise.
Not wise enough for
What were you casting again?
I was casting Toll the Dead, so it has no effect on him. But
Gotcha.
Probably more of the similar resounding sound of a blacksmith hammer hammering inside someone's being.
The blood on his teeth is definitely from the spears this time.
Gotcha.
That takes us to the street thug's turn. All right. And now that is this gentleman's turn. He is still held.
Poor guy. Oh no.
Hold person is good. What you doing, Mr. Apollinaire?
I'm contemplating. I think I'm just gonna stick with the hope we can catch him. Just same gesture. 2 more spears. Just bring him down, Legolas. Old man Legolas. Ah!
2 attacks at advantage.
Yep. Hits. 26. Oh, 16. An 8.
The 16 hits.
Oh, okay. So okay, 16. So I hope he's down. 11 points of force damage and 13 points of force damage.
Oh, they both hit. I thought you said you had a 6 and a 16.
No, I had a 26 and a 16.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, okay. That will both hit then. Yes.
Yeah. So another 24 force damage. And I'm looking at him as best I can. If it looks like he's losing consciousness, I would release the concentration.
Gotcha. He is awake, but his eyes do not seem focused.
If you could surrender, I will release you. I gotta try.
He can't acquiesce while held, so
He can kind of talk, not very well. We'll put it down to
mostly he's choking on blood, so he's not doing much talking. He's got like 4 like 2-inch wide holes in his body, so
Ow.
that will bring us right on back around to Roderick.
Well, I'll move underneath this guy. Is that directly underneath him? Like right here is better?
Yeah,
More or less.
right there. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess I'll hold an action to try and catch him. Spirit weapon mosey on this way. Wait, where was it at? It's right there, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, that's the wrong way. Oh no, where's it going?
I feel like the spiritual
What was
weapon is accompanied by like the Imperial March.
It's probably like making this terrible noise of being like semi-physical, so it just sounds like metal just scraping across, just like not even fully like hovering, like just ominously just being drugged through this darkness and coming out into the street.
Horrifying, I think.
Yeah.
We're nice guys. We promise. We are the good guys.
They insisted. He is still held Apollinaire. What do you do?
If he stays up there for long enough, that spiritual weapon will eventually get him down.
How bad does he look, Dungeon Master?
Sorry, I think my computer is overheating because Skype is super frozen or half frozen.
Oh, yeah, you are a little.
What was your
little
question?
jittery. How bad does he look to you?
His eyes are unfocused and he's like drooling blood, so take that how you will.
I feel kind of bad. I can't get up there
He
to
said
like.
after javelining this man 4 times.
I never didn't feel bad is the problem. I mean, there's no way for me to get up there to make sure. Whoa! Whoa! Where's he? He's flying away. Oh. Damn.
I think my computer like is auto-clicking shit on Tailspire.
That boy said, "Oh."
At least it didn't start tearing the map apart.
He takes
That'd be
flight
bad.
while
Yeah.
held.
Okay. I'm gonna try. I don't want to just kill this dude. The chains are going to release you, but I need you to surrender and come speak to me and my friend here. Otherwise, we may have to resort to more violence.
Make me a persuasion check.
Okay. 19. I guess on saying that, I'm assuming it's my action for that persuasion check.
Yes.
Saying that I release concentration on the hold person. The chains will just kind of fizzle out and just kind of a little bit
He
more.
almost goes over the edge.
Catch him!
All right, Roderick, it's your turn.
Does he come over the edge?
I said he almost went over the edge.
Okay.
It's not his turn, so he can't intentionally move. But with those hits right on the edge, I was like, I'll roll it to see if he goes toppling off.
All
Should have
right.
taken telekinetic so I could. Get fuck over here.
Get over.
Come here, you motherfucker.
I'll move my my spiritual weapon a little bit closer, and I will be ready to receive. I guess I really can't be ready to receive someone and also hold a turn or hold an action to cast Toll the Dead if they try to flee. I'll err on the side of this guy not wanting to surrender and hold an action to Toll the Dead if he starts to move away from the edge.
Gotcha.
That's my turn.
All right. Roderick, I need you to roll me high, low, or call high or low.
Always
while I
high.
roll. Always high.
Always high.
The Church of High. One day we'll win in this game.
All right. You see him fiddling with something under his jacket. You see a glint of another one of those orbs. I will allow you to make your Toll the Dead if you would consider this an appropriate trigger.
Yeah, I mean, if he's trying to like escape, obviously, I just saw that guy use one of those orbs. I don't think he's going to be like, "Oh, have this. It's a gift for you."
Yeah.
Peace offering. Merry Christmas.
So
he needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
I don't want to make assumptions. I was going to ask.
His head explodes.
He did get an 18 on the dice, though.
Yeah,
so.
Fuck
he
it.
resisted it.
Damn it.
So another, without adding it to the map, there is another just hissing sound as the area fills with another thick plume of fog. There is no wind tonight. I was like, I'll roll for it. I was like, we'll see what the wind situation is. There's occasionally the vaguest breeze.
Gotcha. Do we hear any pitter patter of footsteps, or is this guy just like, and just collapse?
You are muted, DM.
It's more like a cough, a few staggering steps, a ceiling tile comes sliding off and lands in the alleyway, a few more staggering steps. But yes, you do hear the sounds of retreat. Do y'all want to stay in initiative and continue, or what are y'all doing?
Oh yeah, fuck this dude. He's trying to kill me, and he almost killed this old man that I'm with.
Don't worry, Sonny. I'm still above half HP.
I don't know that. You're fucking. You got railed by this dude.
That crossbow bolt did not feel good. That shit hurted. I'm not gonna lie.
I will.
But we'll take it back to Apollinaire's turn if y'all want to stay in initiative.
I don't have a good way to pursue people in this kind of environment. And I think that the smoke bubble actually kind of screws what little I can do.
To the other two players, thank you for your patience. This is dragging on a little bit longer than I thought it would.
I'm just gonna kind of still kind of holding the flaming cane. I'm just gonna kind of look over to Roderick, and my friend, I do not believe that we have time for this tonight. If they flee, let us leave it for now. Yes, just holding his good arm up to
like
puncture wound. Yeah, just like
chunk of like bolt to the front.
I never got shot before. That's my turn. So.
Oh, back to me. I'll just kind of go. I'll nod at my old man companion, and just kind of call up to the smoke and down the alleyway.
Yeah, next time I'll leave you in cinders. Don't you show your face against me or do it go again.
All right, you take 8d10 damage. No, I'm joking.
Ah!
Yes, hellish rebuke, but for verbal attacks.
That's fucked up. Yo, that should be a bard thing. Somebody criticizes you, just
All right.
Could you imagine
Chicken
having that in high school? Your mom goes to wake you up in the morning and, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
that's fucked up.
So
we
uh,
initiative.
we are exiting initiative, and thusly exiting Tailspire. Is it? Are y'all heading directly back to the Seven Jesters?
Probably gonna. I mean,
Where did you
some
get
of
shot?
some of what happened out here probably was fairly loud and noticeable. Is there nobody in the street to see what just transpired?
Well, it is getting kind of late. It is like only been like 20 seconds or so.
Mhm.
You do hear people stirring though.
Logic. We should go. Let's get back to the theater. Sorry, this hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
Yeah.
Y'all probably have less than a minute before people start to show up.
Yeah.
Let's,
DM, did
let's just go through this alleyway real quick. Hold on.
were we having everything we purchased like delivered somewhere, or is it here with us?
Y'all probably got like shopping bags.
Well, we were also
Shopping
buying a
bags were
cart and
iron?
horses. Like,
Oh,
we
well
had
then,
like a lot
then
of
they are
shit.
right there in the street with you. Y'all have them.
Let's go onto the cart. Probably on the cart. So what's going on out here? Stop swiping at me, cat.
I guess I will escort the the cart with the old man in the back of it and the horses, so that I don't break the wagon. I don't know how big of a wagon or cart or whatever it is.
I think
I
it's
imagine like
supposed to be able to hold like 300-400 pounds or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so like
not me.
it's like 4 wheelbarrows. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll lead the horses,
all right.
and I'll just kind of like call back some.
Or just, keep pressure on it. Don't try to pull it out yet. We'll take care of it when we get back to the theater.
Okay. Fair.
Uh,
I hope you know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yep.
the rest of your trip is about as uneventful as this part was eventful.
Good job.
I misspoke. I forgot you had the cart. You're not on your way to the railcar station. Y'all are taking the slow path, but y'all do, after a couple of hours, get back to the Seven Jesters.
Do I get a short rest sitting back in the car?
Should you so desire, however, you don't get the HP back because we're using the slower healing.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's still a spell slot.
That is a spell
There
slot.
you go.
Yeah.
It's still a spell slot back. Word.
So the two that are still in the Seven Jesters, what were y'all doing while all this exciting stuff was taking place? So we're gonna rewind at like 2.5 hours.
I think I was just getting to know Gaia a little bit more, and yeah.
Gaia would, in part of explaining who she is, pick up one of the Maine Coon cats and say, "This is Hex. She is." Kind of looks at her, kind of confused. Or this is Hex. She's a bad cat, very bad cat. And then puts her down, and then picks up the other cat. Again, kind of looks at her a little confused. This is Charm. She is very good cat. This is the best cat.
High or low?
Hi. She's very good at I do not. What are you good at? She's very good at spotting things. She looks at a lot of many things.
Well, then it's good that she is on our side.
Heck, she's her sister. She comes along with unfortunate. I can't separate them.
It's okay. You gotta have the good with the bad.
So y'all are chit-chatting, showing off cats, fending off curious Maximilians, and have probably just finished handling one of these incursions when your two compatriots arrive.
Well, hello.
You get shot, don't worry about it,
Yeah.
Smoky.
Yeah.
I'll take
Like-
care of it. It'll be all right.
Just I can't. Oh, this is a kind of thing that happens frequently in armed conflicts. Yes.
All things
What?
followed
It's a type-
upstairs.
Hmm.
There's like a concerned person. One of the guards is like holding a random bundle of medical supplies. What can we do to help?
Don't
Mr.
worry about
Representative,
it. I can
I
take
just
care
know-
of him. I'll fix it. Calm down.
You'll have to fix him.
Yeah, I'll
He's
fix
not
it.
okay.
Come on, you get over here.
It's sticking out of his back.
Yep.
And you can see Gaia is freaking out.
I think Gaia, Seraphina looks over at Gaia and goes, Gaia, can you do me the utmost important favor and get everybody who is not us out of the space? Entertain them with creating a tree or something, or regale them with one of your many funny stories or jokes, to help sort of ease Gaia's stress. And I look
Gaia
over.
just starts running after people. Get out!
There's-
Get out!
There's only one other person, the guy that came up with the bandages. So
Okay.
We
you
must
chase
go.
him back down the stairs.
I got some healing kits. I forget. Do they work different in your setting, or how does the healing for healers kits work?
I believe it just needs proficiency.
Yeah, I'm proficient with them.
You're just going to be using a healing kit on him.
I'm gonna use a healing kit on him, and then I'm gonna use some magic to kind of rush it over.
Yeah, little zing.
Yeah, get some little, molten neosporin in there, as it were.
The what?
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
Iodine's
healer's
good
kit.
for you.
An individual proficient with a healer's kit may treat up to a number of individuals equal to your proficiency modifier on a long rest, expending a use of the healer's kit per individual treated. Individuals treated in such a way do not have their healing from expending HD.
Cool.
So when he
I'll
dice
Dab.
tonight, he will not have that
Swag
number.
money.
I will do that, and then after it kind of looks like it's sort of treated a little bit, I'm like, all right, oop.
All right, this part's gonna hurt just a little bit. More
Tell
than
it it
not.
hurts very much.
It will. So it's gonna burn a little bit. So
What?
yeah, it'll make it better. Just trust you. You trust me, right? Okay, so we're just gonna do this in the count of 3. All right, you ready? You might want to bite down on something real quick. Okay,
All right.
and the one.
Yes.
I'll do it. Let's do it on 1.
Dare
And
you.
you will heal for 8 points.
Swag
There
money.
you
That
go.
is some of that's actually a pretty big chunk of the damage I just took.
Yeah, whoops, I was
Wowie wowie.
filtered.
Definitely.
It's not so bad. It's good. You
that is boy, this is really unpleasant. Oh,
Gentlemen, can you please tell me how Apollinaire has a crossbow bolt you've just removed the crossbow bolt. Can you enlighten me as to how this happened?
yeah, you got shot. I said that
But-
already.
No, I know.
What?
Roderick, I know, but by who?
Oh, some of them bronze lynch fuckers. They were bullies.
Okay. Well, when we
What?
get back, you and I and whoever wants to join us can go, burn them down to the ground or something. But
Well, I
while
think they're in a relation. I mean, they know we'll mess them up if they come back.
So, as a medium-term resident of the city, the Franz Lin Institute compound is heavily guarded by government officials or by government soldiers because they provide weapons and equipment to the military. Additionally, it is like the city's worst kept secret that they sick enforcers pretty much on anyone who tries to meddle with or repair the products themselves, or to anyone who tries to take them out of the city.
Holy shit, they're like medieval Apple. You can't fix your own fucking products, you bitch.
No right to repair.
oh my gosh,
Uh,
no, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. At this point, Gaia will stick her little snout out of the door into the basement, and she'll be in cat form, and telekinetically speak to Apollinaire and just say, "Appy, are you okay?"
Fucking
You are not dead.
Gaia?
Yes. I am
Looking
over
in
here.
My head is very strange. I am not dead, yes.
For what it's worth, you did see Roderick basically like weld his wound back together, at least on the
Ow.
outside. So.
That sounds horrifying.
That's basically how it
Yeah.
happened.
I feel like that does like way more damage than it heals.
It's
We don't
it's
have
not
open
with
wounds
actual
anymore.
fire. It's just a really hot radiant energy.
Awesome.
It's like an arc welder of healing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, that does.
How do you think I
there.
repair myself?
So all your bleeding is internal now. So
Oh,
Nice.
that's where blood's supposed to be. So I mean, like
Exactly.
so
medically correct to me.
yeah. So but this is there have been rumors and like not well kept rumors of things like this happening in the past, although usually the people are found dead in the street the next day, not making it back to be healed. So
Roderick, is there some quarrel between yourself and the Franzlin Institute? I have never really dealt with their products, so I'm pretty sure. So they shut the fuck out of me. I don't think I was.
I don't got anything against what I do now. It's shot just, and they, they've been trying to intimidate some of my friends and stuff. Just because, people come in with things that are broken and we buy it cheap and sell it. I mean, after repairing it,
You are a competitor to
I
them.
don't know. We just get it cheap and then repair it and sell it. We're not making it.
But you are still still a competitor. You are not making the
It's
things. But
fraudulent stuff. They already sold it once. They got their money.
yes, but they want to have people. They want people to pay them to fix it when it breaks.
Well, not everyone's got money.
Seraphina messages Apollinaire and just says, "Our dear Roderick just cares a lot, and we cannot argue with this. I know that I can't actually burn down Franzlin, but I am so angry right now on behalf of both of you.
you've had a
Can
very
we
busy
just
few
leave
days.
now?"
Just a second person talking in his head still jumps. For just kind of, that's really strange.
Sorry. Seraphina goes, "All right, because this clearly is unusual and I apologize. I have a thing where I can talk to people into their minds. If you don't want me to do that, please tell me. Roderick, you have told me that, and I apologize for invading that privacy. I promise I won't use it cavalierly, but it is helpful in some cases. So can I get your permission to use it if it's important, if we're trying to be sneaky?"
you mean like not when you're riding horses?
What?
You said you was using it cavalierly, like on horseback. So I mean, if we're on the trip and you want to use it, yeah, I guess that's fine.
And that was when Roderick's fire went out.
It is quite alright. It was unexpected. That's
I
it.
Sometimes I misuse words. I'm fucking 12, okay? It just happens sometimes. I don't have the biggest vocabulary, okay?
I'm not upset with you at all, Roderick. We've had a long few days, and I think we should just go meet up with the people that Apollinaire and Gaia have connected us with, so that we can try to get out of here ahead of the carts.
Yes, I believe that the encounters that we had with the Franzland individuals, that should give them pause for at least long enough for us to exit the city.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. If you're all right to travel around, you know.
Yes, it was just a shock. This kind of violence is not something I'm familiar or experienced with. So it is.
I've never been shot by
Yeah.
an arrow before. They usually just kind of like bang off. So it's a new one on me.
That makes sense. But yes, the sooner we leave, the better. Probably. I'm sure there were some who peeked through their curtains to observe and saw what happened. So we should go.
Gaia will hop up onto your lap, just like a cat, claws out,
Big ass cat.
and unmorph, and just say, "All right, what are we waiting for?"
All right. So you guys, go ahead.
Roderick will take a minute to make sure that the kid there and the other guard dudes make sure they take care of Coke, or at least like leave him a few silver to take him to a livery while we're gone.
Maximilian enthusiastically informs you
damn it.
he will take care of Coke.
I'll leave him 5 silver.
Holy shit.
Jesus. Okay.
Kids, he's like, I'm rich, bitch. Woo!
Pretty much.
Handed
My
him like
cat-
$50. Like,
My cats will be paying attention to Seraphina for a while.
Cool. Not creepy at all.
I think
Oh, wait, they're
Seraphina gives them a wink and just as we exit,
No reaction. Just say.
that's fine.
weird fake cats. I'm just glad they're not looking at me.
So you guys
We're not
heading out
creepy
from here to
cats.
go.
Yeah.
We didn't cover this last time. Are you meeting him outside the gates, or are you meeting him up at Station 17? Up in the second circle.
The preference would be outside the
Like
gates.
there.
The less time we have to spend like near government areas, probably the better.
I was asking. So you guys load up your cart with your equipment and your trade goods, and y'all head outside of the gate.
Significantly broker than we were before.
Significantly broker.
Significantly broker. I
Um,
think it came out to like 1,500 something silver, probably all told, with the 2 draft horses and everything. Yeah, broke boys and ladies.
So y'all pass from the third layer in the carnival down through the working class of the fourth layer. You're not the first merchants to leave tonight. So the guards are a little irate at having to open the gate again, but y'all are waved through. And not far out of the gate, you see your new friend, whose name we actually did not give last time, but you have now. No, Raoul Maison.
Raoul.
A random name generator on fire, all right?
You said Raul. What was his last name?
Mason. There's Mason with 2 S's. I'm
He's
choosing to translate
fancy.
that to myself.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Shua.
you made it. Perfect.
Yes, of course. How could we miss out on our first mercantile venture?
Excellent.
These two right here are I believe one of our bodyguards you met already.
Holy shit.
Just-
What the
just
fuck
drink.
are you?
I said this is very rude, my friend. This is
He is on fire! That
So-
isn't rude. It is
the
great.
world. The world is a very large place. I would think that as a traveling merchant, that you would have seen many wondrous and strange things.
Yeah, usually it's a person with like weird jewelry. All right. I mean, he looks guardly
him a
enough,
big
I
shrug.
suppose. And your other? 2 per cart, remember?
We brought one cart.
I know.
So,
He only
and
sold one
he
cart.
had met Seraphina when
Oh,
Seraphina
that's right. That's right.
went. So that's why I said like you've met one of our guards already. This is
Yeah.
our
I
other.
forgot he'd already met Seraphina. So,
Yeah, and Seraphina has her 2 short swords at her hips. And looks very just straight faced.
Hell yeah, fuck it.
it will also assist the
Guard.
journey to be in the presence of a lovely lady. And he bows. He didn't get like too personal or anything, just all right. Well, let us see how far we can make it on the first night. See, the trick is to travel at night. Bandits expect to jump people during the day. So I get in my head, I think, how do you avoid the bandits? You go when they're sleeping. Right? Smart, no?
That makes perfect sense to me. You'll have to keep it in mind in the future.
So he's got his 3 carts, and each cart is flanked by a very tired-looking gentleman in like some form of either chainmail or padded hauberk and a spear. Not very uniform, but they're armed men, right? So
Give him a smile as we add ourselves to the caravan and.
all right, and away we go. And y'all begin your journey. I figure out where I put my map. There it is.
I'm the map.
Why does your I'm the map voice sound so ominous?
Fiend Warlock. Everything has to be fucking ominous. Come on, man. Can't be nice. Must be evil.
So, I do not think we will make it to Clearwater before we'll have to take a nap, sleep some. But we can make it most of the way. You are not opposed to sleeping out in the wild, right?
It is part of the experience, no?
That is
not
where I have
usually,
always
but-
slept.
I don't sleep, so it's fine.
He seems to think about that last statement for a second and then just not the weirdest thing he's heard today. But let us get started. And y'all will begin your journey.
So he said we would have to stop before we got to Clearwater.
Clearwater is about 12 hours of travel away.
Okay.
Y'all will not be traveling all the way through the night. He's just wanting to make some significant progress during the night.
Right. Shit. I'm trying to get into some logistics math real quick. About what time of night are we leaving now? Would you say we're leaving, Griffin?
It's about 10 p.m., we'll say.
About 10 p.m. In their information gathering earlier today, did Seraphina hear what time in the morning they were going to be leaving?
Yeah, we're the prison crew is leaving at 8 a.m. sharp.
8 a.m. sharp.
And they're going to be riding 12-hour days hard.
Right,
So they'll
hard,
make it to Clearwater that day. So what, 12 hours from 8 a.m. is
So they'd hit at about
8
that
PM?
night. Yeah,
yeah.
that evening.
Hmm.
And if we're traveling for like, I guess I could just ask to confirm like exactly how long how much of the ride does, how much of this journey of the journey to Clearwater is he hoping to accomplish tonight?
I was thinking perhaps at least 4, perhaps 5 hours. See where is a good camping spot. This is my first time doing it at night, but I figure the bandits have someone watching the gates during
So,
the day,
okay.
so we sleep out.
So even traveling for that little bit and then sleeping, we'll be getting up and leaving around when they leave Griffin. So okay, I was just trying to determine if we needed to ditch them now, like tonight. Like, all right, we stopped to rest. Bye. It's like woo. Okay, cool. Sick. Just wanted to hammer that out real fast. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, y'all travel. It's a road. Apollinaire, you have probably been on this road at some point in your life.
I would hope
Roderick,
so.
you followed this road to get here. At least the first portion, both Gaia and Seraphina have been on. It does branch, though. The one main road heading north, where you guys came down from, and then the road heading south to Altus.
Loud owl.
So, are y'all doing anything? Engaging in conversation with anyone? Partaking of any activities while y'all travel?
Is it safe to assume that Roderick are the other guards walking, or are all of them mounted?
No, they're all walking.
Okay, sick. I was
The
like,
only horses are the
the ones pulling the carts.
Yep.
Okay, I assume Roderick was walking. This heavy ass would break our cart. At some point during these first 4 hours, either when Seraphina is up there of her own volition, or kind of gesturing her to come sit up like on the driver's seat, because I got shot, so I'm riding on the cart.
That's fair.
Yeah, just as like a powwow, real quick, just while we're in the privacy of our hopefully loud horses and our metal friend walking along. So we are out here now. This is now much more in your wheelhouse than I believe mine or either of our companions. At what point do you think that we should split off from our new friends?
Thinking about the logistics. Let's ride with them until Clearwater. Find an excuse to leave them there. Sell the stuff that we do not need there, or just abandon it at this point, and take the horses and ride as far as we can and pick a spot. We know their entire game plan. Right ahead as far as we can to set up a place to ambush them is my thought.
Very well. This sounds reasonable to me. Okay, and as we will be ahead of them, we should have ample opportunity to take our pick. What seems best or very well. So, Clearwater, I guess we should be thinking about why we are going to separate from them. Hopefully to keep it at least as few questions as possible. We spent quite a bit of money on this stuff, so if we could not just that would be nice, but we will do what we must.
We're what do you call it? I don't know what we're called. Traders.
Oh.
Do you actually say that to Sarah?
No. I don't know if the word terrorist has been coined in this world.
Yeah. No, traders. I think we have enough time to sell what we have to get some back. I don't think we'll make a profit in Clearwater, but if we can recoup some of the cost, that would be great. But at this point, this is just a job.
Yes, of course. We will think on what kind of lose we'll use, but very well. Sounds good to me.
I think I look over at Gaia and go, like, are you having fun in your element, my dear?
And Gaia is dancing kinda while she walks with next to Roderick, who she's looking up at. Oh, yes. This is very nice out here. Much better than in the city. I can find as many seeds as I want and as many sticks.
Amazing.
Roll me either survival or investigation, Gaia.
You find pebbles.
You find nothing.
You find nothing.
22.
You find
Still
hella
find-
seeds.
Pine cones. Are there pine
You're
cones?
not sure what all of them are, but you've got a lot of them.
See?
Oh God. That's terrifying.
She'll look at Roderick and just go, why do you not want me to duck in your head?
It's weird. Choose the
What?
wrong thumb, man.
You are quiet.
Yeah, you got hella quiet.
It's just weird because usually that's only where I'm at.
But you are giant suit of armor. Why would you not want
Not a suit of armor. You can't wear me.
well okay, fair enough.
I mean, look, there's stuff in here. Just pull down a panel and it just looks like
It just looks like molten, glowing shit. Like there's just
Ugh.
it's just like slag and molten stuff inside of the armor plate.
Okay, maybe I cannot get inside, but is it not better to have somebody talk to you in your head?
Turns out Roderick is categorically an ooze.
Just
Oh.
like Serafina said, he's very sneaky. You can do many pranks and nobody will know.
well, it's fine if I know you're gonna do it, right? But if I'm just thinking about something,
Like
Yeah.
this, boo, and she'll telepathically send that.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm right next to you having a conversation. Scary, I guess. But if I'm thinking about something and then you just jump in there and it don't even come from my ear holes, that's just weird.
Well, what are you thinking about right now? Wait. Let me guess. And she's gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
I have to make a wisdom saving throw, right?
You can choose to fail any saving throw you desire.
I don't know what the fuck she's doing. So
That's true.
well, actually, I do because I have the. Wait, no, I have. I do not
don't-
have detect thoughts. I have zone of truth, which is different.
It is different. Kind of.
I don't know if there's a save for it.
There
I
is,
rolled
if,
a natural one.
There's a save if you wish to delve deeper. You get surface thoughts for free.
That's all I want.
Yeah, so if you want to
What's
your surface
hear his
thoughts?
if you want to hear his inner monologue, you'd have to get a saving throw.
Yeah. Goes to detect surface thoughts, and it's, what is this bitch doing?
You get surface thoughts, and there's a lot going on. You kind of get bombarded with like 30 different things that are happening at once on a mere surface level. Some of the loudest things talking about a couple of projects he has left undone in Durden Row, to this old man getting infected. He's got to make sure that he keeps
Infected?
Yeah, he doesn't want
What?
doesn't want you to get any type of infection in the wound that you got. It's pretty much closed up, but we hit a nice bump in the road that could jostle and knock you right back open. I did a pretty good job, but nothing's perfect. Also thinking about those wheels, they make way too much noise. I could probably fix those. What type of nails would be good? I could probably, about a million different repairs that could be made on all the things around. That guy over there and those 3 dudes have really shoddy armor. Yeah. Kind of just all kinds of stuff just all over the place. You're
Kinda
muted.
Oh,
All 6 of them have really shoddy armor, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oof. Bro, boys.
Gaia just kind of taps her head. Just, you are thinking about Dirty Row.
It's Durden Row, yeah.
That's what
Oh,
I said.
it's like-
Dirty Row.
No, it's not how it's pronounced. Durden, not dirty.
Then?
Yeah, right. That's it.
Okay.
Durden Row.
So,
Well,
go ahead.
I just thought of this. I am, and she'll kind of just point her fingers together like a little kid who's kind of in trouble. I just remembered I am not supposed to do that without people's permission.
Do it.
I looked into your head,
All right.
and that is how I know you talk about Durden, or think about
Hey.
Durden.
I mean, I talk about Durden Road all the time. I mean, I just thought it was a good guess. I don't give a fuck if you look in my head. I ain't got nothing to hide.
Okay.
Just don't jump in there without permission, or unless you really need to.
Well, from what you have shown me, I do not wish to jump into your head.
That's kind of insulting.
It looks very hot.
All right.
I
So
do not
as you
think I would survive.
as you guys are having this conversation, is there anything else anyone wants to do? Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and fast track to camp just so we can kind of keep chugging along a little bit.
Just lost in thought.
I think it's kind of a lost in thought, but I was gonna ask you, DM. Seraphina has been trying to think of a way to let Roderick know that she's gonna send him a message, and so you can say no to this idea, but I think that Seraphina is comfortable enough with her magic that she could utilize some of the similar magic of her message ring, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean? To sort of like when she's gonna send Roderick the first message, it sort of something like lands in his hand in the shape of a silver fox, so that he'll know that she's sending him something, or messaging him something, and then it sort of provides that consent piece of do you consent to take this message?
Gotcha. So I think that's a
Deny.
really good idea. Because the object acts as a focus for your magical energy and then turns it into a message. So it has a pretty solid range for each of the spell levels that you can push through it. If you push through a cantrip, we'll go ahead and say it will basically act as like a visual message that they have to, accept. Sure, that's totally acceptable.
Right. Yeah. Because then that way it's just the first one, and then I'll just use the regular message cantrip. But specifically for Roderick, Seraphina's trying to be as accommodating as possible.
Gotcha.
Because she, as Roderick has indicated to both Gaia and Apollinaire, she doesn't like people very much, but she likes these people, and so wants to take care of them as best as she can, and the only way she knows how she can.
Yeah, no, I mean that sounds.
Everybody likes
You
old
have a
people.
magic item that does that on a much larger scale, and I see no problem with doing it on a smaller scale by using cantrip magic instead of spell slots.
Cool.
If you, not to put a damper, if you suggest that to Roderick, he's just gonna be like,
You could just make like a beat noise or something, or just say hello before you talk, and that'd just be fine. It's just like if I'm in the middle of doing something, and you're like, "What's that over there?" In my head, that's just really weird.
I think that Seraphina, if you've told her this, she goes, but this is very much cooler, and she creates a message and sends it to you, and in your hand is a little silver fox. Like, that's intricately, like, it looks like it's like pewter.
Little spirit fox message thing.
Break the fox to get the message.
Yeah, it's like you just kind of crush it, and then it goes into your head.
Oh, so you want me to break this?
Yeah, just crush it in your hand. Hi.
I mean, it's cute though. I don't want to break it.
It's just magic, Roderick.
Oh, okay. Smash the shit out of it.
Yeah. You break it, and in your head it goes, Roderick, I'm going to send you a message now. and and that's it.
Okay.
Sick.
All right. Okay. That's all right.
Roderick says, "You don't have to do this," and Seraphina says, "But aesthetic."
But aesthetic.
Cool.
So
Not the little fox crunch.
before too very long, you guys do reach I'm not gonna say an ideal camping spot, but you find a
Hot tub, hold on.
kind of a clearing, 30, 40 feet off the road, more or less dry. Looks like someone at some point may have used this as a campsite before, based on, some of the shrubbery being cleared away and kind of a burned bit in the middle. Yep, I do not know about you. You don't sleep. That is good. You can keep watch.
Got it.
Excellent. I will have my men on like a rotating company for you. Yeah?
Right.
Excellent. I'm going to bed. Have a good night, folks. He goes and sets up a simple little pup tent and crashes out after eating some pre-made ration food. Like, real quick. He already told you he's not used to this, so he is very tired,
I'm going to bed.
pretty much.
Before everybody goes to sleep, Seraphina pulls out pulls her lyre in front of her, and just starts playing a really quiet, soothing piece of music, and I'm playing Song of Rest. So Apollinaire can you get 1d6. So go ahead. Do I roll that, or?
Yeah, does that apply just like alongside my hit dice?
Whatever hit dice you choose to roll, yeah.
Yeah, so if you or any friendly creatures who can hear your performance regain hit points at the end of a short rest by spending one or more hit dice, each of those creatures regains an extra 1d6 hit points.
And the 1d6 for Song of Rest it just applies once. It's not once per hit die.
It just applies once. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, just since this is the first time it's come up, you may expend hit dice on a long rest as usual, or as you would on a short rest with the regular healing rules. Usually you would receive the healing equal to half of that result, but because you have been subject to a healer's kit, you will get the full dice amount rolled.
Sick nasty.
You get back, at the end of the long rest, half of your total.
Half of your total hit die. So I'm only spending one because I rolled an 8. So between that and the d6 and the one healing spell from Roderick, that will put me back to full at the end of this long rest.
Yeah, so you'll actually have full hit dice after this.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So that ended up not being that crippling.
I have a question for you, DM.
What's up?
I am going to ritually cast Lehman's Tiny Hut. I would like to ask that part of the hut be a illusory sound of just kind of like water dripping in a cave.
Sure.
Right.
What does your Lehman's tiny hut look like? This whole episode is just going to be everyone describing their stuff for the first time.
Guy's Lehman Tiny Hut much like it has to be. It's a dome, but it sends off a lot of vibes of a cave with the water dripping, very much cave-like, and it's very gray, but with kind of hints of a mossy green.
I'm just double checking the size on the tiny hut. What all are you trying to fit in there?
Anybody that wants to sleep in the hut that is in the party.
He said, "These 4 people, fuck everybody else."
Yeah, it won't.
My friends, I don't know them.
It can't include the carts or any of the mounts because those are large creatures. But
they're fine.
Yeah.
Animals live out in nature.
What does it look like from the outside? Does it just look like a cave rock dome or what?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You definitely get some verbal responses from the guard that's on duty with Roderick for first watch.
That is very impressive, Gaia. It is just a dome.
Yes, come in. And Gaia will stick her head out of the cave and cast Druidcraft and look at it to tell the weather. And just tell the rest of the caravan, just kind of decently loudly, but not like shouting. And say good night.
Okay, great. You're muted, DM.
I just realized that. Kind of like looks over the guard that's on duty with Roderick, says, "Good night, leans over to Roderick. Is this normal? I have never seen anything like this.
Yep, totally normal. Happens all the time.
Yep, we want to go to
Big metal
Altus.
shrug.
Right. Just doesn't say anything else.
Seraphina looks over at Roderick and goes, "Roderick, when you are done with your shift, just let me know and I'll be out."
Oh, that's all right. I'll go to sleep so I can keep watch all night.
Well, do you not need to rest or anything? You were also in that battle.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
They really don't affect me too much.
He's
Oh,
a
they
buff
only
out.
shot at him. Really?
Yeah, I was like, that's why I was like, I'm not worried about Gaia or Apollinaire. Like, I am ready. I have weapons. I can fight.
Fucking Seraphina says she is ready to kill something.
Jeez.
Yes, but that's not the point.
So, as y'all indulge in sleeping in a particularly comfortable cave for the first time, it's like, if I remember correctly, like the temperature is regulated and all that, so it's a comfy ass cave as far as caves go. However, there's a second person that doesn't sleep.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask DM real quick. Do I have to like roll a deception check to pretend to sleep for a little bit?
Are you pretending to sleep?
For like long enough that the 2 that do sleep fall asleep.
I'm not.
Yes, I'm a
unless-
regular old man.
Unless they want to like stay up for a while, because I mean, you could be like in the going to bed process and then just
Not.
yeah.
I suppose so. I guess. Yeah.
I
that's-
lay in bed and play on my phone for a long
Yeah.
time before I fall asleep. So like, Apollinaire could be
I'm
like,
63 and I don't have a cell phone. I would. Yeah, I'd like find some. I'd like initially have like my bag or whatever propped up in such a way that I could kind of lean back on it, and I would take it like have my put on like a spare shirt or whatever that I had on, and I'd spend a bit of time, hopefully enough for them to fall asleep, like mending like my shirt and my cloak that got a crossbow bolt through them. They would put a hole in my stuff. Like, bro, I only have 2 sets of clothes. Like, come on,
And-
man. And there's
both
blood.
sides. Oh yeah, you're not getting those blood stains up.
Blood. Wait a minute.
Are you
Uh,
checking to see if you got
Prestidigitation, no.
Yes, I do. Hell yeah. A fucking minor little,
slurping the blood out of your clothes?
just like almost like a sprinkle of like embers out of the tips of his fingers of his burnt hand, just kind of as quietly as possible, just like let it stains out of there.
All right, yeah,
Um,
you go ahead.
I'm gonna
Probably-
say. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
No.
You're good.
Logic.
Okay, Roger. Probably as you're doing your the first hour, I guess, of his shift, I would be quietly using Artisan's Blessing, not to like forge things, but using more Tinker's tools, and I will go ahead and, in the same vein of the little message, the fox messages, I will make little fox head lapels for everyone, but mine will have a magnet.
Oh, that's
That's
adorable.
cool.
All right, cool. Yeah, no.
And
One
I'll
100%.
probably expend a couple of pieces of silver for each one of them, so they have the same color to them. But the backs of them will probably be ironed.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
All right.
So yeah.
Seraphina.
So cute.
I know. I think that's awesome.
That's fair.
I was just gonna say that Seraphina was gonna like in the vein of the Song of Rest for Apollinaire, play like a traditional like bedtime song to like ease Gaia into like a sense of like comfort, and also just like Seraphina is trying to like bring herself down. she's heightened her emotions so much over the last couple of days. She's out in the wilderness again, around less people, which is a good. And I say people, humans, less humans.
I knew it.
I was like, I think I need to be specific. But yeah, just playing on her lyre, just trying to, yeah.
Good gracious.
Gaia will at first kind of toot on her little recorder a couple times, but very quickly curl up and go to sleep while holding the recorder.
Much to the thankfulness of everyone around.
But her two cats will remain with you as long as you stay within line of sight of Gaia,
Okay, that's
Just-
yeah. I think
staring at you.
yeah. Seraphina has like saddled up her bedroll, like right next to Gaia. Yeah, she feels very protective of Gaia. So yeah, it's bedtime.
So, bedtime. Apollinaire, as these two actually do fall
Yeah.
asleep in earnest.
Sick.
What are you
Thank God.
doing? Because you're not asleep in earnest.
Yeah. I'd kind of, like I said, I'd sit there and I would legitimately finish mending the holes. The holes. It's only one through, so it's not too bad. Like getting the holes of those clothes mended. And after they were asleep, kind of after you finish mending the clothes and they were asleep, you kind of sitting there thinking, kind of glancing out to where Roderick is keeping watch outside of the dome. Looks troubled. And after a little bit is gonna pull out of like the little like satchel that he has, pull out a book that it looks like it's just like a plain leather bound book, but it looks like it's just got scorch marks kind of going across the cover and everything. There's like the pages are slightly burnt all on the edges. You just kind of look at it for a little bit and start to leaf through it. The writing in it all in some script that I'd say it's safe to say nobody, probably no mortal, speaks or reads. Is just going to kind of look at the lines for a little bit, getting a sense of like almost like the intent of the writing, if not like an exact translation. If we're
You
kind of
know,
frowning.
son.
Yeah, like having an understanding.
Yeah. He says, "You know, son, you'll eventually learn to read it."
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
You feel something moving behind you. "So tell me, son, how did it taste the first time?" And you'll realize at this moment that absolutely nothing, not even the campfire outside of the dome, is moving.
He's just not gonna look at the source of the voice. Just gonna kind of keep looking down at the book. It was like eating a sweet that had something rotten in it.
Couldn't have been that rotten. You wouldn't have kept eating. And you just kind of feel a hand on your shoulder before you can keep yourself from looking. Even if you look away immediately, you see long, emaciated fingers, barely more than bone and skin. And it doesn't squeeze your shoulder, just kind of gently tapping away on you.
Deal may be struck, but how it is collected is still yet to be seen.
So it is. Eat up. And just like that, everything seems to flow back into motion again. You hear the crackling of the fire. See the snoring forms of your companions in the dome.
Almost immediately, shut the book, stuff it down in the satchel, take the satchel off and put it down underneath the bottom of his belongings. Kind of stroke his mustache. I keep forgetting I've got a mustache because I've never had a mustache. And after a little bit, is gonna pull out some other goods that he had bought for himself during their expedition. Looking at a pile of leather and a short sword and some other just odds and ends that he's never considered before for himself. Set aside the weapon, kind of take the bundle of leather armor, step out into the dome to Roderick. So all's quiet so far.
Yep, all good. Going fine.
Kind of quiet again there, Kent.
Yep, all good. It's going fine.
Oh, that is wonderful. As if it is not too much of an intrusion, I must admit he's gonna kind of shake out the leather armor. I've never really, if little experience in the martial ways. You work with armor on us, yes?
Right.
Shall we get? It's kind of my arm is not so good, you know.
Yeah. That was weird earlier, you know. I understand, I'm a big metal fella. It's flaming horns and all. Never seen a guy do that before.
Probably for the best that it is an infrequent occurrence.
No, I mean, it was cool. Yeah, stabbed him and stuff with magic.
A useful skill in the path that we now tread, I suppose.
Right, yeah. It should help when we're going to get this guy. Merchant stuff. Money.
Yes, the merchants and so perhaps the bandits. I will not make a fool of myself. But hopefully as little violence as possible, we can accomplish our goal.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't like violence particularly myself. Try to avoid it if I can. Pretty good at it. If I don't, I think. Um, not proud of it, I reckon. I don't know. It's good to be able to beat the shit out of someone to protect the folks you like, but it's not a something I enjoy doing, right? I had someone refer to it as taking out the trash, so you know you don't like doing it, but it needs to get done. Right?
There are always alternatives,
Yeah.
much more desirable. Unfortunately, I don't think that will always be an option. So I figure it best if I can, at the very least, not get shot again. This perhaps
I
this
mean,
will help.
I could try to like make you a shield or something to, you know.
I do not believe that is I do not have the know-how necessary to wield any kind of defensive item effectively. But something simple that may block the worst of the impacts, I think, should do the job.
What do you mean? I mean, it's a piece of metal. Don't fucking shoot me. You put it
I
in the way.
only have one good arm.
Well, I mean, yeah, all right, right. Sorry. Magic-y stuff. Yeah.
Potter's basically just gonna, as
You know,
it's gonna
pretty
basically
light.
equip this studded leather that he's got, being like, "Can you help me with this strap that is right on you?" And the like,
You know,
and
it's pretty light.
You're not putting that on right. The guard just kind of sitting there watching this whole exchange. Do you want some help?
if you are offering that would be lovely. Thank you.
We have this wild ass traveling schedule. I might as well. Not doing anything else.
If you, fantastic. Thank you, young man. This is, clearly I'm inexperienced with these things, but if there are going to be potentially bandits, I would like to not find myself completely at risk.
He just kind of nods a few times and comes over and is like, that strap is on backwards. No. Oh, jeez. Spends like 10 minutes showing you how to wear armor for the first time.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm basically going to just. We're in a camp. I'm going to basically as drawing as little attention to the fact that I'm not sleeping as possible. Just kind of hang out with Roderick
Cool.
out there.
After a hour and some change, that guard swaps out for another. That guard swaps out for another. That guard swaps out for another. And as you're sitting there with the last of the 6 guards, sun on the horizon, start of the dawn, etc., we're going to go ahead and go to break at the conclusion of this long rest.
Woo! HP.
We'll start back fresh from the long rest to continue the journey to Clearwater Village. Yes?
Oh no, go ahead.
When we get back from break, so go tinkle, get yourself some snacks, get yourself some caffeine, and we'll see you shortly.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope the tinklings have been tinkled, the food has been cooked and eaten, and the achy legs have been stretched. We are back for the second half of episode 3 of Hard Knock Dice Blood and Silver. We left off for our break at the end of a long rest, pushing a little bit further into a morning than most long rests because of a late night trek. We had some silver fox trinkets made by our Forge Domain cleric. We had nothing from our sleepy elfin fey child creature. We had some good sleep gotten by our bard, and we had creepy time-stopped shenanigans with our warlock and his patron. So as the sun has been risen for a little bit, by the time the long rest completes due to y'all's late start on it, but it is still pretty early. Party, what are you doing?
Who is in the dome with me currently?
I believe just Seraphina and your cats.
Gaia will sit up and cast Minor Illusion to create the almost deafening sound of cicadas and just wordlessly start to scream.
That's an alarm clock.
What? What is happening? What?
Seraphina, you find yourself rudely awoken by the sound of deafening cicadas and a screaming changeling.
I think the cicadas she sort of ignores, but if Gaia is screaming, her automatic action is to like stand up and pull out or grab her swords and go, "What is happening?"
I'm just envisioning his character hunched over like one of those screaming possum memes. Anyway, go ahead.
If I understand correctly, she's wordlessly screaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just ah!
But
Some
cicada
sobs are.
No,
okay.
also cicada sounds.
Mhm.
I think. Was I wrong
Or
on
wait,
that?
Yeah, did
Yes.
I misinterpret
Okay,
that?
yeah, so it is cicadas and also screaming. Gotcha.
Okay, yeah. I think Seraphina like looks around and is like, "Guy, are you okay?"
Still screaming. She will scream until the minor illusion goes away, which takes about a minute.
Okay,
Holy shit.
Seraphina just sheaths her swords and walks out of the dome.
Fucking old man, the fucking came away. What is happening? What is happening? Is there something wrong? Is she okay? Still moving towards the dome.
Gaia is just having fun, and she startled me awake. That's okay. How is everything this morning with you and our dear Roderick here?
You look over, and the one guard that was on duty with them for the last shift is looking at the dome like spear in hand.
Seraphina waves it off. It's fine.
I see.
Does not sound fine.
I know. It's Gaia.
Whoop.
Will walk out of the dome with tear tracks down her face.
She does not look all right. Gaia, is everything all right? What has happened? That is.
Did you not hear the cicadas?
Can
No,
I take a knee in front of her? There was It sounded like there was some kind of noise. Seraphina said that you were just perhaps playing a prank, so it does not appear so.
And she kind of snaps back into it. Oh, yes, yes, it was a prank. Just kind of.
Inside check.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't need an inside check for this one. That's a very fake smile.
Ah, the passive insight is high enough.
Seraphina looks appalled at herself, everybody can tell, and she gets down on a knee and goes, "Gaia, I am so sorry. I thought that you were playing a prank on me. What can I do? What can I do for you right now?"
I thought that I was in the forest again. I am sorry. It must have. I must have had a bad dream.
Okay. Okay. Well, you're safe. You're here with us. Next time that this happens, how would you like us to proceed? How would you like us to comfort you?
I guess just talk to me. Just make sure that I know I am here. With
Okay.
friends. I have my friends.
I can do that.
All right.
Is it? But we have a bite of breakfast, technically speaking, at least a lunch perhaps. And then before we go, okay?
I eat rocks. You got the nice shiny rocks? No, I'm just fucking with you.
Drops rocks.
It's only like somewhere between 9 and 9:30 at this point, so.
Immediately divert to feed the changeling. Best way to distract somebody, food.
Did y'all bring rations or food or what do y'all? Okay.
I think this is just we know we're gonna be gone probably around about a little over a week, right? Give or take. So yeah, probably a little over a week's worth of rations per individual.
Gotcha.
God damn our fucking money.
That's what Guy is upset about.
See, this whole thing looks a lot less impressive if you know the person doing it has nothing left in their bank account while they're doing it.
It's just coffers.
Yeah, so you guys you pack up. It is a fairly uneventful morning. Clearly Raul is not loving his genius idea as he is like dark circles under his eyes, gnawing on like some jerky and hard cheese. This was a bad idea. I did not sleep with shit. It seemed like a good idea.
Oh, did you not have enough sticks? I can find you some to. You got to get the nice smooth ones. Otherwise, they'll jab you in the back.
I slept in the cart, but
You know, things like sleeping, laughing, everything. It builds your character. You'll be better for it in the long run. I'm sure.
I mean, you got no room to complain. This guy got shot by an arrow yesterday. He's right as rain.
I will say that I am glad I have not been shot.
Just fucking look at Roderick like.
What?
This guy's tired enough that the circumstances just right over his head. He's not digging too deeply. The guards all seem like a lot more accustomed to this, and they maybe a couple side eyes, but no one says a word. They don't get paid enough to ask questions. So
Perhaps a little down
we are still
down
an 8 hours red from Clearwater. So away we go. I should have brought coffee. A horse whinnies. And y'all are on the way for another 8 hours of travel.
Yeah. Which that should put us. Are we leaving at about the time we estimated? So we're leaving
About 10
this
o'clock,
camp
yeah.
about the same time. Okay, so a couple hours after they would have departed.
You have approximately a 2-hour lead on the other caravan.
But
The
they're gonna be staying there
Great.
overnight though. We do know they're gonna be staying there overnight.
Yes. According to the plans that y'all had silver lined out for you,
Woo!
the plan is to stop overnight at Clearwater. So, y'all travel. Y'all, anything y'all are doing while you're traveling?
At some point, I'm gonna try to get guys' attention and just kind of pat the seat next to him on like driving the cart.
She will sit on your lap.
Okay.
Immediate.
Yes.
Have you ever driven a cart before?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Look. So like, okay, so hold up both of your hands. Yes. Palms up. You do not have to lean back so far. Just sit. just kind of place the guiding reins in her hands, just kind of like, oh, and so you just mostly want to hold your hands very steady, but keeping like a little bit of pressure to make sure that they keep going the way you want. Yes. And I'm just gonna kind of get until she's comfortably keeping them going straight with the rest of the caravan, and isn't at least a little bit occupied with that task. And then is gonna kind of still, while kind of rubbing a thumb over the still like visible scorch marks and cracks on his cane. So this morning it seems like you are very distressed.
Oh, yes.
And I am. When we were going to the merchants yesterday, I cannot help but notice your necklace. It's kind of watching her very carefully as he refers to it as a necklace. It is,
But you could tell not like it being called a necklace.
say a very unique ornament. I can't say that I have seen its like before.
Yeah. I do not like the bow.
Did not like the what? I'm sorry.
The bow. It's got a pretty noticeable red bow on it.
Is it like a standard like cloth bow that's attached to it? Was there a particular reason that you must keep it then?
I was
You do not like the bow.
I was told I had to keep it.
I see. You also, I noticed you almost said, I'm old man ears, so I could not be certain, but it, when you talked about your boss from where you came from, it sounded like you were going to use a different word to describe her. What she
Well,
was.
And you can tell Gaia kind of uneasy on that. But can you keep a secret?
But of course.
She was my boss, but it seemed like the other people, at least most of them, they chose their boss. I did not.
I see. And she is still your boss?
Yes. Looking down.
Would you like her not to be anymore?
I don't get to choose that.
Regardless, if you had to choose between the two, if you did,
I just want to go back to my mountain.
okay. Kind of getting the sense that pushing, getting a little on the edge of pushing as hard as probably is reasonable. Saying, well, if you feel like talking about it anymore with me, well, as I said, I will keep your secret. Very shush. But for now, do you like these horses? And it's
I
just
do.
going to kind of divert the conversation back into, like, steering the horses and being like, well,
Hard
I mean,
left turn.
you are very light. Perhaps you would like to. You could probably even ride them still, even while they are pulling the cart, if you would like to. I mean, their manes. I think they could probably use a bit of washing. They might like that. Yes.
And she'll try to like immediately scrabble over, but while she's doing that, she'll kind of turn and look at you and just say, happy.
Yes.
Thank you.
But of course.
And you can tell Serafina, just I do not know about Roderick yet.
Just kind of incline his head down. But of course. Thank you for your trust.
And she'll start trying to brush the horse.
Make a horse brushing check. Okay.
19 plus something.
And that mane is going to be so silky.
Yeah.
All right. And y'all's 8 hours of travel go more or less uninterrupted. There is one event as you're about 3 hours out from the city, from the village, where y'all can see a suspicious huddle of armed men on the side of the road. But after seeing that this is a well-guarded caravan, they just kind of keep chilling. So,
Pretty sure that guy's on fire. I think we should mess with them. And that lady, like, she looks murderous.
and
If Serafina can see them, she pulls out a sword and points and is like, really? And just
there's a guy, because they're kind of like lounging for all intents and purposes, waiting.
Okay.
And the one of them that's kind of lounging backward, you point the sword at him, he just doesn't even get up, just clear that they don't want none. So
Okay.
Punter's just waving at him. Punter's giving him a wave, like, oh, good day.
Raoul kind of at some point, about a few minutes after y'all ridden past, he said, and this is why you hire guards.
Those men not friendly? Oh, dear me.
Oh, no, in case they weren't friendly.
Don't
Okay.
worry, I'm just a friendly old man.
Y'all putt along the road till you see a village in the distance. It is not a particularly large village, probably home to a couple hundred people maximum. It is right near the edge of the river. Now you can see people, even from where y'all are at on the road. Here is where the road gets the closest to the river. As the road passes through the village, you can see people fishing. You see people out next to the houses cleaning the fish and preparing them for either drying or transportation to the city to sell. It's busy. It's the middle of the day. Y'all got there, 2 p.m.
We left
later
at
than that.
10.
Yeah. A little bit later than that, but
Yeah, I was gonna say is if we're 2 hours ahead of them, then it would put us
Be like
at
6.
6 p.m.
yeah. So you're still. I had my math off on that one, but it's winding down.
What is
The
math?
fishing's probably a couple late night fishers, I guess. I don't know. I've never lived in a fishing village, but
I'm sure there's something.
yeah, it is still a decent sized village, not quite large enough to be a town. Y'all get into the village, and Raoul looks thankful. Oh, thank God. They don't have a big inn, but it has a couple of rooms. I intend to get one of them. So what is the party doing now that you're in Clearwater Village?
Football huddle. So squat down a little bit.
For the record, the rest of the caravan is moving towards the inn.
Yeah, we're fiddling with our goods or something to stall.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we tell. I think Serafina shouts over to Raoul, "You go ahead of us. We are going to make a game plan."
Okay.
Dumbass.
He is focused on
food.
like a real actual bed and a hot meal.
Alright.
Like,
Alright, so we're
So-
ditching these guys now, right? We're just gonna continue on the road throughout the night.
said, I am quite frankly, this is outside of my field of expertise, Serafina. This seems more. You are a performer. And armed, evidently. I didn't see you buy any of that in town, so I assume you had it already.
It's okay. Let's see if we can sell any of these things. And even try to sell this cart, because I don't think we'll need it. Right.
Yes, I believe so.
So
So
it's like 6 p.m., right? I mean,
Yeah.
while there
But-
is a visible like open market, so the town square here, because it is right next to the river, they don't have a well or a fountain or anything like that that you think of when you think town square. There's more like a maypole type thing.
Okay.
And you can see where people like either locals or passing through traders might have like a little bit of an open air market here during the day. It is in the act of closing down as y'all arrive, seeing as it is 6 p.m.
Okay.
Ew.
Well, we could just leave the cart and come back for it and the things.
Well, perhaps. I mean, as I've quite purposely purchased things aside from the iron requested by Roderick, things that would sell to more common folk. We don't think that we can sell it to these folks. We may not get as good of a price, but perhaps we could sell it all to perhaps whoever runs the inn. I mean, they will either use it themselves or they have easy access to the market to sell it again, if they so desire. Some of it is spices and things, which I'm sure they will hold on to, but the cloths, maybe not so much.
I think if we sell the like heavy things, like the salt and the wheat, because those are both 10 pounds.
Right. Yeah.
And
Those were some of the cheaper stuff, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, we mostly want to get, I mean, because it ultimately is wheat, salt, cotton cloth, pepper, and ginger. So 3 of those are spices, which are fairly non-perishable. I
Yeah.
imagine they would turn down, especially if we offer them at like a pretty decent price.
Telling me salt doesn't go bad?
What is that, Roderick?
we can just go to a cook or something. There's so much stuff in there they could use it. I don't know, like meals and stuff.
Generally speaking, a tavern does employ a cook.
Yeah.
Hand cam. Yes, and I mean, classes. It is close. It's useful for everybody. Yes. See what you can sort of. What about all this iron? This is a lot of iron, Roderick.
Oh no, I'm gonna use that. Don't worry about it.
Yes, but can we? That is a lot of iron. I can't imagine he used very much last night.
So are y'all having this talk like as y'all are kind of meandering towards
Yeah,
the inn, or have y'all
we're
kind of
just
like
kinda-
stopped in the square to have this talk?
I think it's we're sort of slowly walking, like you
Okay.
know, Apollinaire and Gaia are in the cart. Roderick and Serafina are on either side as we walk slowly towards.
Heads down, kind of
Yeah.
amongst ourselves talk.
So, as has been like a lengthy conversation, it is about now that y'all find yourselves getting to the inn. You can already see Raoul and his merchants. Well, his merchants' guards are mostly nowhere to be seen. Raoul is negotiating with someone who is leading the carts around to the back. So there's an exchange of copper and silver. What are y'all gonna do as y'all reach there? Y'all gonna continue your conversation, speak to the horse handler? I can't remember the name of that off the top of my head.
Hostler.
There we go.
Don't know where that came from. Not gonna lie to you.
Wheel of Time.
Maybe, quite possibly. I guess we would just ask this dude to just take it around while we negotiate with his boss. Basically, is that what we're planning? Like, yeah, take this with her. Or We're like, hey, can we like park this out here for a minute? We're gonna talk to your boss. I don't know. Probably that. I just so if we're actually not entirely sure whether we will be utilizing your storage facilities. May we leave our carts right here for a moment while we speak to the owner of the establishment.
I don't care.
Wonderful. If you could, of course. No offense meant, of course, but Roderick, would you like to I mean, I know you don't want any of your iron to go anywhere. Would you like to keep an eye on it for a moment while we discuss?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Wonderful. I don't fucking know these people. And
Yes.
Roderick is scary looking. He's gonna steal from that guy.
Roderick is scary looking. He is a suit of armor that is filled with fire. I don't think it gets much more scary looking to your average medieval villager. So yeah, y'all heading in.
And as we step in, just gonna kind of just say, if you like to try your hand, I'm a decent negotiator, but check out. You may have our best chance at ensuring we get as much of our coin back as possible. If you would
Fair.
like to
Yes.
to spearhead this operation.
Y'all go in, and it is a small village inn, but it is at a crossroads heading to both Altus, Zorgine, and Griffin. So even for a village this size, the inn is fairly large, but still very simple. It has a handful of tables. It seems to double as a eating house, and the obvious stairways leading up to the rooms, which were visible from the outside. They have kind of like think of like the motel where you go up the stairs and the rooms all exit to the outside walkway, as opposed to like an interior corridor. There's 3 or 4 people sitting at the dozen or so tables down here, grabbing some stew of some kind. It's quiet. They don't have any kind of live entertainment or music, no performers. There's not a bar. They may sell, wine or beer, but that's not the primary intent of this location. It's not a tavern.
They ain't getting sloshed.
No.
Okay.
SMH. Apollo
I-
judges this place.
I think Seraphina takes a really deep breath and turns around to Gaia and Apollinaire and goes, "Do you trust me? I'm going to say some things, and I do not want you to think that this is how I actually feel about you."
You wish to pull the wool over their eyes?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I trust you.
Okay.
I will do my best to follow your lead.
Okay. So
I'm
if the
gonna see
two
what
of you
these
want to,
guys are drinking.
yeah, if the two of you want to find a spot like at a table, while we're trying to like find a table, I want to like scope out the person who I think is most likely the person we can sell at least some of this stuff to.
So very clearly, it is not a busy room, and much like the establishment, which could be described as like homey,
Mhm.
there is a middle-aged man kind of leaning on the desk, or I say desk, it's like a countertop, not a bar per se, but it seems to be where most of the business is done.
Okay. So
And he's bored, kind of half interestedly watching the people in his venue.
So Seraphina puts on a different face that's not like the one that she was using with the cartographer or her mentor, but kind of more of the like business type, and walks over to him and goes, "Hi, I wonder if you could help me."
Good evening. If you're looking for a room or a drink or a meal, I probably can.
I will get to those eventually. I'm going to tell you, I was hired by 2 inexperienced individuals, and Seraphina like tilts her head towards Apollinaire and Gaia, as a guard for their trade business, they don't know what they're doing. They're going to get me killed. They're going to get themselves killed. Is there a way that I can encourage them to sell? They got things like wheat and salt and pepper, like very simple things that I'm sure that you, as a proprietor of an institution like this, could use. I'll even convince them to sell it at a discount. I just want us to offload this material so that we can go back to Griffin, so I don't have to worry about protecting these two from God knows what on the road.
Generally speaking, he says in a Yokuri accent.
Don't like those guys.
Generally speaking, I make sure I have a steady supply of the things I need from people up in Griffin. However, you say a discount. My ears are open.
So let's see. Let's see. I have to think about this. 100 silver for 10 pounds of salt, 10 pounds of wheat, 5 pounds of pepper, 5 pounds of ginger.
So I personally, as the DM, don't have all these prices memorized, so I'm probably gonna just use percentages of the base prices for this.
That's basically a little over 50% discount for those goods.
Make a persuasion check at advantage because of the steepness of that discount.
16 plus 9.
Nice.
So, what is that? 25?
These are non-perishables. You're giving a good discount. You convince your boss. I find this favorable.
Okay. I say, thank you so much. I will go and talk to them, and they're pretty easy to mollify, so just give me 2 minutes and I'll be right back. And
Look, merchants don't like to sell at a loss. But if it works for me, it works for me.
Yeah, so I walk over and go, we'll get about 100 silver for the stuff.
Oof, that is pretty rough. But because things are at work, we do what we must.
Mm-hmm. And we still have a couple of things to sell. We still have the cotton cloth and the cart. We could, in theory, stash the cart somewhere, and then come on our. That is something that we could do.
Yeah. Especially if we're working under the oh yeah, we're going back to Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Leave town. Or whatever. Stash it somewhere and then dip. This is
Yeah.
one. Yeah. It sounds like a reasonable plan to me.
Okay.
I am not very good with the money, but I do want what he is having. And it just points at somebody who's having a beer.
Okay. So
How old are you?
Old enough?
Serafina laughs and turns around and goes back to the proprietor and goes, it's so easy to get these things finished. They're amenable to the 100 silver, plus if you throw in a beer, that would be great.
Fuck you.
I will throw in a beer for the price of a beer.
Wow. Fucking
Serafina, whatever that cost is, tosses a couple of coins.
2 coppers.
Yeah, throws a two coppers down and goes,
Perfect. I will have my hustlers look it over, make sure everything is above board. Make yourselves at home. I will even throw in rooms, should you desire them.
Did we decide if we were gonna stay?
We had not. I think that's kind of up in the air. It depends. We're only gonna have 2 hours on these guys, and we know that they're moving in 12-hour days. So
Yeah. I look at him and I go, I don't think we're gonna be staying. So
do it yourself. He turns around and starts filling a wooden mug with beer from a keg.
I take the beer from him and bring it to Gaia.
Upon is still trying to work out how old Guy is. How
How old
many
is Guy?
windtails?
Out of character. I'm
How many
curious.
windtails have you seen, Guy?
I'll send you a message, Cody.
Gotcha. Noted.
He is purposely
Provide-
concealing Guy's age.
That's a you problem, not a me problem, as long as I get to know.
God damn
And
it.
just-
Upon is trying his darndest.
Fair.
Yeah, I relay the information that he's going to have somebody look it out, and I'm going to go out to Roderick to make sure that they don't try to shortchange us.
Of course, yes. It is a good idea. So as soon as they are unloaded, we shall depart. Head as we are heading back towards Griffin, and go back around. Yes. Wonderful. All right. She's gonna look at fucking Gaia.
Guy, have you ever had beer before?
No,
Jesus Christ.
but seeing as I rolled a 17, I think the guy is liking it.
It is a.
Damn.
This is nothing special. It is a beer they brew right here using what they've got. So it's not terrible, not great. It is innkeeper beer.
Pawn Air's just like in mental headspace of better if someone's around. Like, you know what? It's just like having a glass of wine at dinner at home with your parents. Like, just
She
Seraphina.
takes that first sip and
Oh.
her eyes just light up. And
Oh, wow. Okay.
that's it.
Yes.
Seraphina, you are, as you go out, a couple of the assistants or employees of the innkeeper go out to check over the goods just to make sure it is what you say it is. And you walk out to see Roderick surrounded by children. Like 11 of them asking you question after question after question. Maybe a couple of concerned parents encouraging them to keep their distance. Roderick, how are you responding to a swarm of curious children wanting to know about this fantastical figure in front of them?
I mean, pretty easily. Roderick deals with a lot of kids most of the time of the day anyway. He's cool. Asking questions back, like what their name is, what they do.
You get
etc.
11 village children's names.
Hell yeah.
I
Give
want
them to me.
names. I want
Give
last
them to me
names.
right
I want
now, DM.
parents' names. I want siblings.
And that's crazy because
I
I'm not
ask
going to
them
come
if
up
they
with
have
that.
brothers and sisters.
Pet.
Seraphina, you
Imaginary
walk out
friends.
and Roderick is engaged in an active conversation
Roderick has
with
had
a
an
platoon
aneurysm.
of children.
Seraphina's heart is full of joy, and just, I've said it before and I'll say it again. She does not like humans very much, but she has grown fond of Roderick and Apollinaire and Gaia, and seeing this is truly a joy.
You're like 3 or 4 parents clutching pearls if they were wealthy enough to have pearls. They're not. But clearly uncomfortable, but also like they don't want to insult the giant flaming armor creature standing over by the carts. So, and he doesn't seem to be threatening their children at all. So they're in like this interim space of like panic, but also everything's okay.
Yeah, I think to assuage some of their fears, Seraphina goes up and goes, Roderick, thank you so much for keeping watch over our cart. You are just such a kind, gentle giant. And just like putting on this performer face.
All right.
Quick flashback to Roderick bashing someone's head in with an anvil like just a few hours ago. All right, back to where we're at.
head was fine. Nobody died.
I mean, brain damage isn't death.
So yeah, the hostlers look over. Yep, there's definitely salt. Yep, there's definitely pepper, etc., etc. And in short order, haul off your mercantile goods or the ones that you have sold. Upon receipt of the goods will be the receipt of the silver. So that all takes place within about 5-10 minutes.
Just okay, so that gets taken over.
Alright, so we're good to go on to what's it name?
Serafina makes a little silver fox and sends it to Roderick's hand.
Little spiritual fox thing goes hopping over to you, hop in your hand.
A very over-exaggerated, got it, squish.
When you break it, Serafina goes, once all of these things are, what do you call it? Once all these things are sold, we are going to leave, and then make our way back down the road.
He sort of points the way we came or the way forward.
Serafina messages and says, we're going to go back towards Griffin, hide the cart, and then go around the town towards Altus.
He sort of leans in and just goes,
Why don't we just leave the car here? You just give it to someone. It's fine. We're not carrying anything in it. It's useless.
Ask Apollinaire.
We're carrying your fucking iron, you jackass.
I can carry my iron.
No, you can't. Motherfucker. You heavy ass bitch.
I will turn this 50 silver iron into a 49-pound anvil.
Holy shit.
There you go.
I'm double checking something.
Is that like one of your forge abilities?
Yeah, if we're gonna be here for a little while, I'll just go ahead and do that so that it's not like slabs or an ingots or something. It's easy to carry around.
Yeah, it was ingots. So
How much did you say Roderick weighs?
I
probably a lot.
messaged you in this on Facebook. It's
A lot.
fine. It's fine.
I don't know if it is. If you're carrying an additional 100
It's
pounds of
fine.
iron.
100? I thought it was 50.
You said 100 pounds, motherfucker. We bought 100 pounds of iron.
Are you?
Whoops.
Oh, sweet baby. Yeah, no, bro.
Communication.
Someone's gotta go.
Don't worry, Gaia can carry it.
Ooh, okay.
I got like
So what y'all doing, folks?
So there says, so we're gonna step out after Gaia's finished her beer.
Damn.
Fucking, it's kind of like you fucking using the cane to like hem her in as she walks forward.
Stumbles
Beer, not
forward.
vodka. Just saying.
If
Beer.
I had
She's 30 pounds.
if I have a 50-pound anvil with me, I will be a total of 486 pounds.
That is okay. Barely. So usher guy out here. So I said, in like a hush tone once again. So I said, listen, I want you to go. So sad to see the merchant life go.
Apollinaire, should you let our traveling companion know? Or are we just bouncing?
I think that it is probably best that we spend. I said you spoke with the innkeeper a good bit, yes? I'm sure he will chalk it down to just a few fresh-faced individuals who got cold feet. And I think that it is best if that is how we stay in his mind.
Wonderful.
That's all right. I
Okay,
did
get him
not
to
like
cook.
him. He smelled like stinky deer. And then she'll clamber into the cart.
Stinky deer. All right.
Okay.
So, how far back are you going? So y'all have approximately 2 hours until the
Right.
caravan that y'all are
Would get
stalking
here.
gets to Clearwater. So
Hey,
how
why
far
you gotta
back?
say it like that, man? That just makes it sound bad.
All right. So,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about you guys having this plan to make it seem like, y'all are just, we're just bad merchants. We're not really good at our jobs, inconspicuous, etc. Right?
Go
That doesn't work for me.
If they think that we headed back to Glyphon, it does. As long as that is the general idea of that when they saw us leave, we left back towards Glyphon. We will go back to business here. Less like as
Well,
much chance as possible
see,
to that.
There's two ways it goes, right? Our one way, everyone there, we have to fight them. Oh, no, three ways. Okay, three. We get in there, don't fight anyone, sneak them out. Good job, right? Second way, we fight, kill everyone, no witnesses. I don't think so you have any. And third way is we'll have some fighting, but we'll get them out. And what? The flaming metal man. Really? It wasn't that flaming metal man. It was the merchant flaming metal man. I don't think that's really try, right?
If perhaps they do not come back first to Glyphon, it could give us a little bit of time perhaps before the world spread.
I mean, they already want to kill me, so I'm not super worried about it. I just, feel like if they ask literally anyone on the road, they're going to probably put you guys together, right, with me.
But anything that may muddy the waters is my thought.
Okay.
I do not think we need to go back particularly far. Just fair enough as that stash this cut somewhere. I'm sure that it will probably be gone in a fairly short order by bandits or thieves. And then we go around in the horses.
Alright, would it have been better to just not come into town at all? Just kind of go around so there weren't any witnesses? We didn't have to have any story?
This is simply the merchants here, but I mean, that is kind of, I get a little late for that, yes?
I was just wondering, that's all.
Let us walk and talk.
I'm walking.
So are y'all heading back west as y'all talk?
I am open to being convinced otherwise, but I just think anything that may kind of, like I said, muddy the waters as to where we were or what our affiliation is might not be a bad thing.
Right.
So quick summary of the plan. You guys are going to be heading back about how far?
Maybe a half hour, if that.
Yeah, tops.
Like,
because we just want to find like a good place that we can just like that it will at least remain unnoticed for a bit, at least. So I guess that would be the thing is until we'd be going back at most a half hour, shorter than that if we can spot a good place to just go shove
Make
that
me
bitch
a
in there.
perception check.
Boomst.
Yeah, who doing it?
Not Gaia.
Anyone. I don't care.
okay.
Whoever's looking for a place to hide your cart, make the perception check.
Okay.
That's it.
I got a natural 20.
Yeah, buddy.
That'll
Okay.
do.
That's better than my
Y'all
17.
are not even 20 minutes south, when you see a little deer path that leads to
Perfect.
an off the path clearing that has like an indentation shallow enough for you to get that cart down in, but deep enough that the cart's not visible from the deer path and certainly not visible from the road.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Hell
Stash
yeah.
that bitch in there. Just pull some of the cloth just over it so they can't see that there's anything in it. Maybe just like whoop.
Sure.
All right.
And y'all are going around the village when you get back.
Correct. All right. While they're like stashing it, Apollinaire is gonna take 66 seconds. Oh wait, I'm sorry, not 66. 606. I don't know why I keep wanting it to be only 1 extra minute. It's 10 minutes. Is going to begrudgingly take out the book, flip it open a little bit, and just kind of reading over some stuff. And with little to do, it's not a very huge magical working. Is just kind of like trace some circles and lines and stuff in the dirt, basically some runes of some kind. Before a almost like a drip of like mercurial looking blood kind of drips out of the tip of his finger, lands in the middle, and expands into a Tensor's floating disc as a ritual.
All right. You now have Tensor's floating disc.
We will have to stop about every hour or so that I can do that, so we can keep moving our heavy flint. I don't think the horses could support his weight.
Well, I mean, I've been walking this whole time. What's wrong with that?
The horses are faster, significantly.
The implication is that y'all will be moving faster than a medium-sized creature's walking speed.
Yep.
Will it be able to carry two of him?
2 of him? No. 1 of him, yes.
Gaia, you can sit on the horse
You're
with
very
me.
small. Yes, you ride with Seraphina. He says, you are not very heavy.
She's shit-faced.
Oh, shit.
I do not know what that means.
The perception check to
get on
notice
the horse.
this will be a 5.
You'll probably just get on the horse and take a nap, maybe. Eat a piece of this blood. Yeah, so a piece of like a hunk of bread out of the rations. Just nibble on that, yes. All right. Get her on the horse.
Where's a Waffle House when you need one?
Yeah. No, I think I get up on the horse and then like indicate to Apollinaire to like pick Gaia up so that I can just put her in front of me and then I can hold her and go, you can take a nap. I've got you. I'm here, friend.
That is a good
I will
idea.
hold on to you.
All right.
Fucking schlumped. No, there's nothing to hold on to for this disc thing, so just keep yourself as steady as possible.
How big is a floating disc?
I think
It
it fits a
is.
medium-sized space.
This bucket circle horizontal plane of force 3 feet in diameter and 1 inch thick that floats 3 feet off above the ground in an occupied space.
So
So
just
3 feet.
barely
So
over
it's 6
medium-sized.
foot. Yeah, it's 6 foot around. Or 6 foot across.
Okay.
So if Roderick sits crisscross
Very little.
applesauce,
Yeah.
smack dab in the middle.
Stuck off the side.
The great
Nice.
part about it though is you don't have to worry about bumps because it stays like
Yeah, it stays. It's a very smooth ride. Fucking shocks are A+. Like you
the
just-
customs office the customs garage wishes they could create a ride this smooth.
Yep.
So y'all begin your journey heading northeast from the clearing around the village. So that'll lump y'all out, but the important part would be to get ahead of the prison caravan. Y'all will be long gone. How far are y'all wanting to go tonight? Because
That just really depends on the horses, right?
Yeah.
Horses
And
have
also-
been going all day.
What is y'all's destination?
We've been moving. The horse have been moving at a much slower pace during the day, though, because they were pulling the cart. Granted, they were also pulling the weight of the cart. So, as for destination,
There's a bunch of different places. Like where are y'all shooting to perform this ambush? Are y'all following them all the way down to Emil's Run?
I figure not.
I am of the opinion that we tried to head them off around Stonesman's Rest because there's that forest there.
Yep.
And sort of try to.
The forest is several hours, so you can see where the forest bows out closer to the road in a couple of places. That's the only place where the road is like right up against the forest. By the
Okay.
time it gets to Stoneman Rest, I mean not that y'all can't ambush them at Stoneman Rest. I just don't want you to
Right.
think that there's also a forest there.
Right. I see like hills and stuff being off to either side. Is this terrain in this area like relatively hilly? Like
yeah,
near
it's
Stoneman's
pretty
Rest?
rolling. It's a rolling terrain. in
Serve a
general.
similar function to forests, like breaks line of sight, things of that nature.
Not so much the immediate cover is the only difference.
Right. I mean, if we wait until they get to a Stoneman's Rest, they will have been riding hard for several days, so
Right,
perhaps makes it easier.
Is it better if there's like a obstruction or me staying hidden, you know? If I'm just on the other side of a hill, probably make it light. You know what I mean? I can maybe hide some bushes behind them if they're thick enough. Not make too much light. Just a reminder.
Light, of course.
As it is, not full on like darkness, but it's pretty dusk at this point. Like I'd say dim light. Roderick is giving off a glow.
Quite a bit. Fudge
Yeah, like
muffins.
5 feet of bright light around him.
So I'd say those are our two best options. Either Stoneman's Rest, where they will hopefully be maybe a little more vulnerable after all the hard travel, and this is a relatively established resting spot, and perhaps they will feel more comfortable there and let their guard down. Or at one of the places where the forest meets the road, which would provide us with more ways to hide Roderick. However, I doubt we would be the first people to think of laying an ambush at the forest. Which means they may be more on their guard around there.
Oh, I mean,
You expected someone to try and get this bloke out, or is it just like a dinner precaution with the prisoner?
We could also. They have to cross the river on the way to Emil's Run. We could do something around there, maybe? Because maybe throw them off of their rhythm in terms of, they've gotten so far. Like, it might have, given them false confidence that they were going to just get away with this.
Just trying to, because we did clarify that it's not a bridge, it is a ford to cross that river. They would have to ford the river.
It is a bridge.
Is a bridge. Shit. And perhaps we could sabotage the bridge if we could see ahead of them. Yes, it's not a bad idea.
I mean, I can mess it up pretty easy, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where I'm coming from, is that we have a artisan here who could sabotage the bridge in a way that would force them to go in the direction we want them to go, which would put them at, alert, but I think not as much as if they were posting up for the night.
I think that makes sense. Gaia, is there anything that within your skill set that would benefit from one of these plans versus the other?
Guys, so
Oh yeah, she's asleep. We will
Well,
proceed with that plan for the moment. I think we have a little bit of time ahead of us.
Maybe we could, if we had some intel on what this caravan was looking like and where this bloke was at on the caravan, then I might be able to collapse that bridge as they're going across it without, having that guy fall.
We do have that information, right?
We do.
We actually have
Oh,
that.
right.
Yeah, because you got like their exact like formation and
Marching order,
everything, and their
Yeah.
whole marching order. So we
It
do have
supply wagon,
Mhm.
prison wagon. Yep. 6 crossbowmen apiece on either side, fairly close, like 3 next to each wagon on either side.
Mhm.
And then spaced out much more significantly is the 6 lancers on either side. 3 in the front and 3 in the back on either side. Slightly further out than the
with what's his bucket?
Gallo and can't remember the knight's name.
I don't think we got a name for the knight.
No, we
They
did.
did.
I just
We
didn't,
did?
I just didn't write it down right, and so now it's all gobbledygook on my page.
Sir Severian Paliere.
There we go.
Severian Paliere and Luderich Gallo, yeah. And they were near the front, like were they past the prisoner wagon, or were they still with the prisoner wagon?
The lieutenant is near one wagon, and the knight is near the other.
In which order did they say?
I believe, if I remember correctly, the lieutenant will be with the supply wagon, and Sir Severian will be with the prison wagon.
Yeah, of course he will.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I mean, if we are able to collapse, and at the very least cut off the supply wagon and some of the defenders, that would not be bad at all.
I mean, it could be pretty good.
Right, so we would proceed with that plan. We can ask Gaia if she has any particular input in them once she wakes and recovers from a hangover. Oh goodness.
Right. Yeah, that could work pretty good. I might want to ask her about some of that dome thing. It seemed pretty solid. I gave it a few knocks over the night. Might be able to use that in an interesting way.
Just put it in the middle of the bridge, like you can't pass. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, if you surgically removed one of the main structures of the bridge, depending on how big the water is going underneath it, or how the structure of the support is going into the water or river, or how wide the river is, you could theoretically use the tiny hut as a temporary support, and whenever they get to a certain spot, just stop concentrating on it and let it collapse.
but it would collapse on
Gaia.
the person inside of it.
Yeah.
Right,
Gaia
you just
has
have
be
to,
in it.
like, I don't know, maybe turn into a flying creature and get out of it real quick, if that were possible.
You think I'm that dexterous?
I think you're that stupid enough to try it.
That's fucked up.
Oh my goodness.
You're gonna kill our one of our party members. We'll put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in it.
Well, we gotta get there first.
Right.
We gotta
Yeah,
get
'cause
there
that's
first.
at the very end. Which does beg to answer the original question of how far are we trying to go tonight. We know that they haven't quite made it to Clearwater. We know they're gonna stay the night in Clearwater.
Correct.
That's up to the person who needs to sleep and isn't already sleeping, I suppose.
I can technically lead a horse. It's only one other horse, so if we like, if you're capable, if y'all could
I'll lead
sleep
the
in the
other horse.
saddle, just like
Yeah, I mean,
we go pretty far. And then it comes down to we don't want to run the horses to death
right.
or walk the horses to death even. So that's actually the big constraint is the horses. We could keep going with those of us who don't have to sleep. DM, how many hours would it be? Would you say, just ballpark it, before we would be incurring levels of exhaustion alongside the horses?
I'm gonna go ahead and say more than 12 hours of any significant travel on the horses is gonna start to be hard on them. Y'all have already traveled for 8 hours today, and y'all have probably another 4 hours before it's gonna start getting real hard on the horses.
So we could push it about 4 more hours.
They start getting the good foam around their bits, and it's time to put her up.
So,
well, I would say that because let's call it an hour. We lost an hour going back and then coming around. That still puts us an hour ahead of the prison caravan.
Right.
If we go an additional 2 hours, we're still ahead. And then in terms of rest, give the horses 5 hours or something along those lines. And then
basically minimum long rest requirements.
Right. And I can sleep in the saddle. We haven't used anything, and so it's not like I have to recover any spell slots or anything.
Right. So just from a mechanical perspective, I mean, we don't want to incur levels of exhaustion.
Right. Exactly. That's what
strictly
I'm saying.
Mechanically speaking. Yeah. So yeah, I think that sounds reasonable. Go for another couple hours. Go ahead and try to get the.
Strictly mechanically speaking, I do require some time of maintaining relatively motionless for a period of time. So I don't think I could walk throughout the night with incurring.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which is why you're on the disc.
Yeah, you're on the the disc has to be refreshed every hour. Rip to the disc.
But even even if we rest for 5 hours, that's Roderick.
Fine. You put me on the disc for 5 hours, one horse on the disc for 5 hours, and the other horse on the disc for 5 hours.
How much the horses weigh? A lot.
2,000 pounds on average, I think.
No.
Disc cannot hold a horse. Okay. So all right. So yeah.
Maybe if we have big horses, maybe 2,000 pounds.
So travel for 2
a regular
hours.
Average horse is
Try to
only
squeeze
1,000
in.
pounds.
930, still way too heavy for the disc.
Yeah,
The disc can do
still way too
500. So
maybe,
go for 2 more hours past the village, and then stops for some minimum sleep purposes. Okay.
So, nitpicky details aside, the summary of what you guys are doing is trying to maximize travel and minimize rest to increase that gap, because at this moment you only have 1 hour on your I don't want to say pursuers because they don't know that you're ahead of them, but for all intents and purposes, the party
are behind us prey.
your pursuees behind you.
We're pursuing them ahead of time.
Yeah, preemptive pursuit. So that begs the question to see how long you guys are going to try and do this, and I will say it will get harder the longer you try and do this. This minimum rest, maximum travel. Are you planning to? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think we have to make it too extreme. We're not trying to get 6
we
hours.
We just need to stay ahead of them enough that they won't see us, and that we have at least we have time to set up.
Right, I feel like if we also run 12 hours and they're running 12 hours on a cart, we'll still make time.
Yeah, we'll stay ahead of them. We just want to create this a buffer and then keep the buffer.
But don't forget, y'all either have to choose between walking or losing slightly over 10 minutes out of every hour to.
It's still 10 hours of riding hard on a horse versus 12 hours of riding with a wagon.
Well, riding hard will incur levels of exhaustion. That's what I'm trying. We're going to take a bunch of little fiddly mechanical bits spread out over time, and we're going to condense it to a slightly more simplified, streamlined format. And to do that, I'm asking, where is y'all's destination? Are you heading to the bridge, Stoneman Rest, or the forest? The bridge? All right.
Unless come morning, Gaia has input as to where she thinks her skill set would be best applied in one of those 3 destinations.
Guy will wake up, throw up, and
Yep.
then what do you want?
Just gonna water skin, hunk of bread. Like,
Thank you. If
Since we are down a man for just a few minutes, instead of doing the time skip I was planning on, we'll go ahead and leave this as an opportunity for y'all to interact.
okay. If I get line of sight and I get close enough, not line of sight. If I can see him and I get close enough, I can. Let me just show you. It will be easier.
but
She's gonna cast Vortex Warp on you, and send you 90 feet away if you decide to fail your Constitution saving throw.
we'll stay out of startlement. Yeah.
Except
What the hell?
I can bring him closer, get him out of the prison.
I think that 90 feet of travel later. That sounds like that will do exactly the kind of things that we want. If the bridge, it collapses. There's lots of confusion. We add a little bit more confusion to give Gaia the opportunity to get close enough to the cut.
Yeah.
One hand snap. Poof. And get him out
Now-
of there, and we can try to get away. If not, at the very least, we will have him away from them, and it will allow us to do whatever it is we need to do without the sweat of them saying, fuck it, we kill him.
You will have to not fight me when I do it.
We will have to make it very clear that we are friends, which hopefully, considering we are trying to break him out, should be fairly evident.
All right, let me look at my spell list real quick. Let's see. I
Guy
can.
just whips out a character sheet.
Yo, what?
I mean, I guess you could just flip through the spell book.
I mean, yeah, that's where they are. They're in there.
I can make some fog. I can
Yeah.
make it so it is slippery. I can put down some poison that will hurt them over time. I can make one of you very big or very small.
I mean,
No,
if there
okay.
is there anything within your skill set that you think would benefit from being in one of these 3 different locations? If it would be any better in one of these 3 places,
I
is it
think
by the woods, the Stoneman's West, or the bridge in the river?
I would say I can make it so you can't see somebody, and that may help.
So it may be best on you if you are to get close to bring him away. Yes,
I am not very stealthy.
I can't say I've spent much of my time learning either. He is on fire and made of metal.
I'm pretty stealthy.
Seraphina is pretty stealthy.
I mean, if you make me invisible, I'm as quiet as a mouse.
Clang, clang, clang,
Clank,
clang.
clank, clank.
Which reminds me, can you just stand still?
He'll
And
be
not
on
move.
the disc soon enough. Do not-
He's on a disc right now.
He's on
He's not irritating your hungover head at the moment.
Yeah, he is. He's fucking working on a project. Sat on that disc, bro. He's
Bing.
fucking hammering stuff.
Bing,
uh,
bing.
Damn, this might be, and not to upend any like our bridge plan, which I think is very good. But remind me, Lover's Forest is kind of spooky, right? Like there's superstition around it.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
The
Scary skeleton.
the rumor is that long ago lovers went to Lover's Forest from differing areas to end their lives dramatically together in Romeo and Juliet style because they could not be together. And since then, a variety of strange happenings, plagued the area, and they ceased trying to make a road through it and just decided to go around.
And how close? Well, not that we would know this, but I wonder how close the edge of that forest is to the road there.
The tail end of the forest actually is in a forested area. It's the periphery of the forest, though.
Yeah, because so in character, Seraphina goes, I wonder if we could utilize the superstition with Gaia's magic, because there's 24 guards who might be superstitious enough not to follow, to pursue us. There might be 2, Gallo and Palieri, who might follow us, but that gives us better odds, because if we have if there's 24 scaredy cats who won't go into the forest. Now, this is a big bet. This is me banking on the fragility of humans.
Quick question. What if we go in the forest and something tries to be spooky to us?
I'm not afraid of this forest. Gaia, are you afraid of the forest?
It is just forest.
There's also... Is that... correct me if I'm wrong, DM. Is the stuff about Lover's Forest, is that more of a local superstition?
Define local.
Local, as in people from the area, like people from Griffin, people from Clearwater. Would folks who are from Altus or other nations not necessarily share the same fear of the forest? Because these 24 are the ones that are from Altus.
Yeah, the whole party is Alton.
Because the guards that were Griffin dropped off back in Clearwater.
It would be known to local Altons, like, Emil's Run is an Alton town, and they are familiar with it. It's not that far away.
Well, knowing of it and believing it are separate things.
That's going to be a mixed bag.
Okay.
You could be comfortably sure that most or all of this traveling party will know of the rumors.
Right.
There's no way to gauge how invested in that they are.
Okay.
I can make a spooky monster that looks very, very real, unless somebody spends a lot of time checking it out. But it would hurt anybody that got near it. So that might convince some of them to run away. If I make, you said, who went into forest?
It is a pair of lovers. They went in.
Then I can make a very scary woman.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. These are the 2 options that I think we have. We have the very practical and pragmatic destruction of the bridge, and I think we also have this forest that we can utilize.
Okay. I do think it is worth mentioning. Altus hates magic shit and things that are weird, basically. So there's also the chance that not only are they not scared of it, but they get real aggro at seeing such a thing. They'll go, oh yeah, fuck whatever that is, we're gonna fucking kill it.
Yeah. Not in character. My worry is that if we are at the bridge, we don't have an escape route.
Right. It'd be very much it either works or it doesn't.
Yeah. And even if it does work, like we're already gonna have tired horses.
Right.
So getting back north is going to be a struggle. So unless we straight up murder all of them,
Everybody.
yeah, it would have to be a full complete.
Just wipe.
Yeah, at least that's how I'm imagining this. Of
That's
like,
fair.
as you said, they're gonna go aggro. We're all gonna be doing magic shit.
They're not gonna be happy about it. Yeah.
Maybe we can just draw all of them in the river, and we can just be able to, save the guy out the carriage whenever it falls in.
If whoever is invisible is close enough to grab him right before the bridge collapses, everybody goes in. Skin of your teeth.
Yeah.
One of the very few pieces of information y'all don't have is the specifics of the bridge, the width of the river at that particular point.
Ooh, that's a really good point. If we get there and it's like, yeah, it's 40 feet wide and it's made of marble. Like, oh shit.
But it could be, 10 feet wide and made of rickety sticks. You don't have any of that. That was not on the
sick, because
the
that
list
means
of
they can't get a
information
cart
you had.
across that bitch.
So.
Hell yeah.
Problem solved. Then they just execute them on the spot.
So as y'all are traveling, where are we heading?
Fuck.
If we do the bridge, and the bridge is too big, we can always just still jump them on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
But it is still, like, as Selfina was saying, there's very precious little places to hide now or run away.
You gotta be careful with that wood still.
The,
Woods, Stoneman's Rest still has the hills. That's quite as good as the woods, but it's better.
is definitely low hills around the bridge area. As opposed to the closer you get to the mountains on either side, the rockier it gets and the steeper the hills get.
Okay, so one more question, and maybe this is a history check of like looking at this, because we have a military
Let's hear
map.
it.
This is a military map. I
Right.
wonder how. I know that Stoneman Rest is still far away from, or like further away than to the forest than I would like. But if they're stopping and resting overnight, using some of these sneak options, if everything goes okay, using that little teleporting thing that Gaia has, we could yoink him and then sneak our way to the forest and just pray.
You're muted, DM.
To get fully to the Lover's Forest from Stoneman's Rest, like just the outskirts of the forest, it would take a little bit longer to get to like the real thick part of the forest. But to get to where you were in any significant amount of tree cover would be about a 2-hour ride from Stoneman Rest. Now, probably another hour and some change to get to like super thick brush, but you could realistically get some tree cover within about 2 hours ride. Shorter if you're hauling ass.
Decisions. So, is it the safer play? Or a little more risk?
I mean, I think we should try a bridge. If we get to the bridge and it doesn't work, if it's too big or whatever, we can fall back to the woods or some hills. I feel like the bridge gives us the most options. But
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Bridge it is.
All right.
All right. That being the case, as y'all travel, what we're going to do, since y'all's priority is not getting any levels of exhaustion,
Right.
we're going to roll athletics checks, not to see if you get exhaustion,
Uh-oh.
but to see how much time y'all can get.
Oh,
The
no.
horses are making these checks, right?
Actually, you know what,
Horses
let's make this a little bit interesting.
Oh,
I'm going to have
hold on now.
each of you, we're going to do a very quick and minor skill challenge. Each of you is going to tell me what skill you're rolling and how you are benefiting your trek. We'll start with Apollinaire. As y'all are traveling on minimum rest, maximum travel time, trying to get to this position so you can have the most advantageous ambush possible, what are you doing to help this effort?
So fantastical. Let's see here. To help this effort, I'm gonna say so. Apollinaire has worked at a tavern. You know, started it up with just him and his wife. So he definitely started out for a long time doing a lot of the work himself. So he's gonna be like whenever they're stopping to take like, you know, short breaks to like drink water, like rest the horses and rest and water the horses. He's gonna be trying to pay special attention to the horses, doing, you know, what he knows of of animal handling, like, you know, loosening girths so that they have, you know, as much extra breathing room and stuff as possible. Don't give me that look, Kent. You know, toss them some oats. He's gonna be trying to, you know, keep the horses in as good a shape as possible.
All right. What you rolling for that?
I would presume animal handling.
All right. You didn't clarify, so I gotta ask.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
Go ahead and roll it.
All right. I'm not bad at animal handling. I would just like to say on the record. Oof, but I rolled really bad. So 7 on the dice for a total of 12.
All right. So that is what you're going to be doing for the next slightly under 2 days as y'all are traveling.
I'm telling them how much back pain I'm saving them.
Roderick.
Well, I mean, what are living creatures if not just machines of flesh, right?
I am fascinated to see where this is going.
And you know, Roderick's really
Oh, that was the voice changer. Roderick's really good at making sure that things stay ship shape and are nice and repaired. So when inevitably, you know, my homie here keeps fucking up and not making sure that those girths are loosened, I'm gonna have to make sure that I use a medicine check so that those horses don't get messed up.
And I got a bum hand. Leave me alone.
All right. So we have horse care and then medicinal care. So
Yeah.
For the horse.
14 plus 8.
There you go. Venath.
All right, Seraphina, you have one party member who is fussing over the horses, another party member who is also fussing over the horses, but with veterinary tools, I suppose. And what are you doing during this 2-day rush journey to try and save time, but without exhausting yourselves?
So, I know that we're not going to be, like, people in the shadows, stealthy, but I still think that it's important to Seraphina, drawing on the knowledge of, like, the elven people of, like, okay, like, let's make sure that we're not leaving hoof prints in obvious places. Like, let's make sure that we're like keeping a low profile as we are going. So I'm gonna roll stealth. So it's not so much of like hiding, but just being conscientious. Yeah, covering our tracks, being conscientious. Oh God, please.
Easy.
I know.
Easy. Don't let the dice know you're stressed. They can smell fear.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna cast guidance on myself, which is also so it'll be a D4 to this as well.
All right. I'll let you do this, but I'll say, well, two of you have already passed, so I should have clarified this earlier. In a skill challenge like this, you can cast guidance on yourself, but each person can only you'll only be able to cast guidance on yourself. You wouldn't be able to assist Chris as well, and obviously not them, but their turns have already passed, so it's irrelevant.
Okay,
I
so
don't need it.
so just gonna do this for funsies. Okay, so 17 on the dice plus 1, and then my stealth is 8. So that's 20 something. It's over 20. Yeah.
That's a couple.
Yeah.
Hella.
All right.
She's
Excellent.
just
Yep.
following the
You
horses of
leave.
the broom.
You leave behind no tracks, and not only that, but you manage
Yeah.
to do things in such a way that y'all avoid the attention of the occasional brigands, which would have slowed you down to handle. So
Yeah.
y'all do see them, but the way you're handling this caravan, 2 horses don't really count a caravan, not even counting the floating disc.
Yeah.
But you do manage to avoid anything that would have slowed you down, and also leave no tracks behind.
Awesome.
Last and not least, but hopefully not hungover anymore, Gaia, how are you contributing to this?
I have a question.
Let's hear it.
So, I can borrow some eyes
Oh yeah.
that give me advantage on a perception check, but that advantage is only for an hour, and I am only allowed to do it once per day. Would that give me advantage on the check for it, for their skill challenge?
You know what I'm going to ask?
Hi.
Woo! Getting high, baby. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, then I will be borrowing a pair of eyes that are always with me.
And what are you doing, and describe it to me?
Using my Maine Coon cat, so I have them kind of spread out a little bit into the underbrush, trying to find nearby, possibly less known or less used paths to help us avoid kind of the main roads, and maybe even cut down some time if we are lucky enough.
A little intersection with the some of the stuff from Serafina, but enough unique that we'll go ahead and allow it. Go ahead and roll it out for me.
Nice.
Guidance.
God damn, you both have guidance. Jesus.
Yeah.
I feel left out. I should have taken guidance.
Hey,
Guidance good.
Guidance squad.
that would be
Guidance.
14. Okay, I'll take the 14.
14. All right. So what I did was I started with y'all's 1 hour ahead. And based on your totals, I added or subtracted. And the end result, after quite a bit of travel, you're all very tired. Not tired enough to warrant a level of exhaustion, but you're a hair breadth away.
I'm not tired.
You can be physically tired without being sleepy. You arrive at the bridge with 4 hours until they arrive.
Woo! Oh, yo, that's a lot. Anybody know how to make bombs? Like,
Yes.
with a landmine, baby.
I don't know how to make bombs, but if you show me a bomb, I can figure out how to repair it.
If
So what
we
is
weren't so
y'all's
damn broke.
immediate actions as y'all arrive? Because we're not, obviously, with the time that we've got tonight, we're not going to jump into it. And we can go ahead and do whatever preparations at the start of next session. But if there's anything you want to go ahead and clarify or get out of the way,
How big
what are y'all
bridge?
doing as
Yeah,
y'all
what
arrive?
the
What
bridge
is
look
this
like?
bridge?
Yeah,
What's
what the
this
bridge
bridge?
looking like? It's
What's the bridge?
fucking. It is Athenian in nature. It's a massive white marble bridge.
It's like
Snack.
over a 300-meter deep ravine or something, like instant death.
It is approximately 40 feet across, like from one end to the other.
Okay.
It is approximately 15 feet wide.
Okay.
The river, and here's the only part that I didn't parse out ahead of time, and I think it'll be fun to leave this one up to the dice to see how deep it'll be.
Dice gods, dice gods. Dice gods, dice.
So 2 questions. First question, high or low? I probably know the answer, but we do have that one outlier player. No? Okay.
Put it to a vote high.
Hi.
All right. The second, are y'all banking on it being shallow or deep?
Deep.
Deep,
Low.
probably, yeah. If we want these guys to be busy trying to not drown to
is-
like come after us.
A fairly fast-moving part of the river, and it appears to be at least 10 feet deep.
Yes.
That'll work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we happen to have any idea of the kind of equipment, like armor-wise, that these guys were wearing?
Y'all did not see.
Okay.
Y'all didn't stop and
That's
scout them out or anything,
Well,
and that wasn't part of the
Well,
conversation.
Yeah.
What do the guys have on inside the bar?
They're clothing uniforms. They weren't wearing armor or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just banking. I was like, if these guys are in like heavy armor, they're 10 feet is plenty. Fuck them. But 10 feet is still good regardless of that.
I will say, generally speaking, as y'all have seen soldiers in the city of Griffin,
Uh-huh.
they tend to wear long chainmail hauberks.
So definitely not great for the swimming.
Like the knee length, elbow length hauberks and a steel cap.
Not like full chainmail, like not chain like gauntlets and all that fun stuff, but just like
But
Just like
enough
chest piece.
to get them bound up with something,
Absolutely.
like to give us enough time. 'Cause that's all
100%.
we need at this point is time.
What is the bridge
Right.
made of? We got the dimensions on it. What is it made of?
It is made of hardwood with stone supports.
That'll work.
Okay.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. Hell yeah. Non-violent Apollinaire clashes with very violent Ian.
You're
So-
gonna
Push comes to
murder a
shove.
bunch of people.
Violent. And if
It's
push
So-
comes to
traumatizing.
shove,
I love it.
I don't
As y'all
breathe,
ride-
so I mean,
As y'all
okay.
ride up to the bridge, with 4 hours to spare, having worked yourselves to the bone, almost. Y'all cut it to the edge. If you'd failed hard enough on that skill challenge, you might have accidentally gotten some exhaustion, but no one did too terribly. And you got, I'll go ahead and say, 2 of those hours were out of Seraphina's over 25.
Hell yeah.
So, with all of that time to spare, we're going to go ahead and leave off this session for a exciting and climactic start to episode 4 of Blood and Silver here on Hard Knock Dice. Before we get out of here, I do want to go ahead and say, if someone wants to go ahead and drop the charity link again, we do support Extra Life. Go ahead and donate, help kids. It's always a good thing. This is not a moral dispute. It's clear. Check it out. We get that in there? Awesome. And I have been informed that we are going to be rating Jess the Human, so stick around for something equally or more exciting than a rebellion / coup / sabotage. So everyone have an excellent rest of your evening, and we will see you not Saturday, because we are not going to be doing Eberron this Saturday due to certain completely unknown individuals' personal life stuff. But we will see you guys again next Wednesday for episode 4 of Blood and Silver, and then the next episode of Eberron the following Saturday. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye.
Find us on Facebook. Bye.